Xiao Tong Tian noticed that he seemed deep in thought and lightly nudged him, teasing, "You're not a ruthless person, but you're still thinking about getting your fellow players out of this fiery pit. Maybe only Hexu could break through successfully." Liu Nian unexpectedly responded, "Hexianzi could help Hexu become an immortal successfully." Xiao Tong Tian kindly reminded him that immortals with certain status would do everything they can to protect their younger generations. Of course, their chances of success would be much higher compared to ordinary people who don't have resources or magical tools. Even if someone tried to log out of the game world earlier, they would die in an accident, either becoming immortals or perishing. That was the rule of the game. Only saints and high-ranking beings knew about this. To put it simply, if a player who had reached immortality was allowed to return, they would disrupt the balance of the world and become a mutant, also known as a superhuman. Therefore, those who entered the game world must either ascend or die. Liu Nian didn't believe it. Doesn't the Jade Emperor have any intention of letting us players out? If hundreds of thousands of players have died, isn't he worried about karma or the laws of heaven and earth? Xiao Tong Tian snorted. Karma? No. He explained, "Do you know why they incited civil war among humanity during the Tang and Zhou dynasties? It was to avoid karma, and you are no different. You were killed by Shen Gongbao and the demons. How does that involve the Jade Emperor? If a deity's servant is killed for neglecting their duties, then this would have happened long ago." Liu Nian's face darkened. He thought to himself, "Damn, I can't possibly fight the Jade Emperor if I want to lead everyone to survive. Maybe I should follow Lady Whitebone's suggestion and pursue the special path of immortality. If one celestial being protects someone, how many people would I need to protect just to test it out?" He kept thinking deeply, unaware that Xiao Tong Tian was trying to get his attention. Suddenly, the sound of a horn snapped Liu Nian back to reality. He quickly realized that the horn signaled the fleet of the Ma Goddess was setting off. Meanwhile, the Ma Goddess addressed the crowd. "We are about to embark on an expedition to explore a new realm. When we find a divine realm filled with spiritual energy, the humans of the great Seiya will all become like dragons." Everyone responded in unison, wishing her success. "Ma Goddess will triumph. Ma Goddess will triumph." Xiao Tong Tian watched the ship sail away and thought, if they really find it, it might take thousands of years before humanity gets a turn. The Jade Emperor is still stuck at the semi-divine level because the spiritual energy here is too thin. In this world, what God doesn't want to become a saint to attain eternal righteousness. Humanity is just a shield for others. Leaving inside after hearing this, are these immortals using us as cannon fodder for their eternal righteous path? Xiao Tong Tian thought of the image of his old father, crying out while holding his son's grave, and it filled him with sorrow. There's a saying among humans, a general's victory is built on the bones of countless soldiers. The world praises generals, but who remembers the soldiers whose bones have turned to dust? Xiao Tong Tian fired up his power and said, "I'll help you sever this karmic connection. Even if you kill immortals or descendants of the immortal clans, you won't have to fear others predicting your future." With that, he flicked his finger and the karmic thread between Liu Nian disappeared. It was time for Xiao Tong Tian to leave. Before he went, he added, "If you ever kill another descendant of the Tang family, you can find me at the internet cafe for 1,000 people, and I'll help you hide the heavenly secrets. It'll be a small goal to achieve." Liu Nian heard this and tears started to flow. "Hey, Xiao Tong Tian, even if you help me hide things this time, it's useless. I've already been photographed by Deng Chan Yu." Liu Nian quickly returned to the Tai Feed Mountain. He locked the door behind him, but couldn't stop thinking about everything. Xiao Tong Tian shouldn't be an enemy, at least not for now. So far, he's always shown kindness and sincerity. Perhaps we share the same goal, which is to rescue Wen Zhong and the others. From his words, it's clear he feels deep affection and regret for his disciples. A little explanation here for everyone to understand. Everyone in the radical sect values loyalty and emotions. San Jiao fought to the death for revenge for Zhao Gongming. The Supreme Heavenly Master has always been restrained and followed the rules, but in the end, when the primordial Heavenly Lord tried to harm the younger disciples of the radical sect San Jiao, the Supreme Master set up the Chu Tian formation to seek justice for his disciples. As soon as the door opened, Liu Ru Yan was already waiting inside. Shi Wai's master has returned. "Just in time, I was hoping to learn about your techniques and skills." Liu Nian stared at her stunning figure in confusion, quickly asking, "Where's Fang Qi?" Liu Ru Yan stepped closer and ran her hand over his firm chest. "The First Lady had to leave for a family matter, so tonight, just the two of us should enjoy ourselves. It's also so you can experience the deep techniques of mine." She then struck a seductive pose and tugged at the hem of his shirt. The door quickly shut behind them. Liu Nian followed her inside, but what he didn't expect was that she had hidden her phone by the tree, ready to connect to Hong Kim and record everything. Scene shifts to the headquarters of the Spirit Guild. Hong Kim, looking at the two of them through the phone screen, grinned with satisfaction. I need to see that bastard die with my own eyes. Only then will my hatred be satisfied. He gritted his teeth, full of murderous intent. He had just received a report from the sixth assassin. That perverted Liu Nian had killed a high-level demon, and not just any demon, but a top-tier one. He couldn't let him grow any stronger. Tonight, the wife has to deal with him. I hope she can finish him off in one shot. Don't let this brat get another second to gain anything. But through the screen, seeing Liu Ru Yan kiss Liu Nian so passionately, Hong Kim's blood was boiling. He was furious, but could do nothing about it. Oh my beloved lady, biting his tongue won't kill him. Hurry up and get to the main point. Confiscate his dual cultivation tools. On the other side, Liu Ru Yan's kiss startled Liu Nian. He quickly pushed her away. Liu Ru Yan, don't do that. We haven't even built up any feelings yet. If we do this now, the dual cultivation won't work well. Liu Ru Yan pressed her full soft body against Liu Nian. Didn't you hear the saying? Feelings grow over time. She thought to herself, although dual cultivation should be driven by lust, first she needed to lower Liu Nian's guard and make him less suspicious, then she could strike and take his life. Looking at her smooth body, Liu Nian blushed and thought, just as Xiao Tong Tian had said, since he had been forged into a dual cultivation holy body by Dab Ji, it became hard for him to refuse things like this. Maybe this was the weakness of the dual cultivation holy body. Liu Ru Yan knelt in front of Liu Nian and spoke. Just lie still. Leave everything to Ru Yan. She secretly smiled. The fun is about to begin. Meanwhile, Hong Kim was also nervously watching. Whether he would become an immortal or not depended on this moment. This time, I've really spent everything. Liu Ru Yan quickly freed Liu Nian's younger brother from the cramped cage. Looking at Liu Nian's strong physique, she was a bit surprised. The little golden man is so lively. At that moment, an emergency alarm went off inside the dam. All the staff immediately started evacuating. The flood peak is coming. It's too late. The flood peak is here. With a loud crash, all the staff there were swept away. Liu Ru Yan outside the area was also caught in a trance. She quickly pushed Liu Nian down and excitedly said, Big brother, my automatic cultivation mode is about to start. However, Liu Nian still felt a bit suspicious. Previously, he had sensed something dangerous about her, so for his safety, he activated a protective charm. The system displayed a notification. The protective charm Okamoto has been fully equipped. Then the two of them entered a state of bliss. The intense battle almost knocked the chair over. Everything was witnessed by Hong Kim. He trembled, unable to believe it. What is going on here? Hearing the noise, someone rushed in. President, what happened? But when they saw Hong Kim, they froze wide-eyed in disbelief. President, below you. On the other side, Hong Kim was overjoyed. He caressed his lower body and said, I've become a man again. He was so happy that tears filled his eyes. After practicing the Kwai Ho divine skill, I was no longer truly a man. But today, after seeing them practice, I was surprised to find myself healed. At that moment, Shen Gongbao walked over, picked up the phone from the ground, and looked at it. After examining it, Shen Gongbao was furious. He crushed the phone in his hand, thinking to himself, these useless fools. It seems the plan to seduce her with the charm of an ordinary man didn't work. I'll have to try with her instead. With that thought, he forced a smile and said, President Han, I'm sorry to hear that. Now that you've regained your manhood, you should hurry and bring your wife back home. Upon hearing this, Hong Kim's face turned cold. He sneered and replied, That's right. I took that broken shoe back, but I haven't had the chance to enjoy it yet. This time, when I capture her, I'll make sure to torment her to my heart's content. Meanwhile, over at Liu Nian, each of his steps was like the ringing of a bell, making her entire body go numb, as if electricity were flowing through her veins. Tears streamed from the corners of her eyes, and Liu Ru Yan, filled with joy, thought to herself, each time the bell rings, my soul feels elevated. I feel like I've entered a fairyland and my entire body is being cleansed. It's as if I can spontaneously write poetry. At midnight, I hear the bell ringing clearly in the deep of night, the early winds blowing, the pale moon swaying gracefully in the sky. The first sound is sharp and urgent, the second soft and distant. It can be heard but not seen. It's like searching for something that's invisible. Faith is there, but it feels like an emptied vessel, indifferent to life and death. Liu Ru Yan remembered her childhood, the days when she was still a little girl. One unfortunate day, her family was in an accident, and she was the only one left. Liu Ru Yan sat alone in front of the operating room, crying uncontrollably, her parents gone. Later on, Liu Ru Yan was lucky enough to be adopted by a new family. But years later, when she turned 18, something terrible happened. While taking a shower, her adoptive father, Ru Yan, committed an immoral act. He looked at the girl he had raised for years with a disgusting longing and thought, she's really grown up. Hearing a noise, Liu Ru Yan became alert and called out, "Who's there?" The old man, Ru Yan, pulled back the curtain and walked in, grinning lecherously. "Of course, it's your daddy who loves you the most." She was startled and quickly tried to cover herself, saying, "Get away from me, or I'll scream." He lunged at her, but Liu Ru Yan managed to run. Ru Yan was twisted enough to pick up the towel that had fallen on the floor and sniff it, his face showing a vile expression. "You can't escape. I've locked the door tight." Liu Ru Yan, terrified, grabbed a knife. She quickly ran to the door to escape, but it was useless. The door was locked. Then the voice of Mac Cucknan echoed, "Ru Yan, let me hold you just like when you were little. I used to hold you all the time." Liu Ru Yan, trembling, shouted, "Don't come any closer. If you do, I'll call for help." But the man wasn't scared. Instead, he grinned with a smug look. "Go ahead, scream. We're in a private apartment and the soundproofing here is top-notch." He looked at her with a greedy smile. "If you don't behave, I won't love you anymore. From now on, you'll have to sleep on the streets." At these words, the painful memories from Liu Ru Yan's childhood hit her like a shot. She dropped the knife. Seeing this, Mac Cucknan grew even bolder. "Now you're being good. After this, I'll give you lots of money." Just then, Liu Ru Yan kneed him in the groin and kicked him hard. "I'd rather die than let you touch me." He collapsed in pain, foaming at the mouth. But Liu Ru Yan didn't stop there. She went further. The incident was quickly investigated by the police. Liu Ru Yan was brought to court. After the investigation, it was concluded that after being kicked and falling to the ground, the victim was further harmed by the defendant. Therefore, there was no basis to claim this was an act of self-defense. Liu Ru Yan was convicted of intentional bodily harm and sentenced to 8 years in prison. She was escorted away, but her face showed no fear or hesitation at all. Her foster mother standing beside her kept shouting insults. "Liu Ru Yan, you're a white-eyed wolf. Your uncle was just joking when he was drunk. How could you make me?" Everyone at the trial turned their attention to her. This girl is so malicious, she even dared to cut that part off her uncle. Just look at her, she doesn't seem trustworthy at all. Maybe she seduced her uncle. After that, Liu Ru Yan was thrown into a prison. Here, her nightmare continued. She ran into a group of gang members, and soon there was a new one. They immediately pinned her down and shoved the cloth into her mouth to stop her from screaming. The leader of the gang, Shen So-han, walked over. Everyone who arrives here has to go through a physical check. The main test is for HPD. Without warning, a girl stabbed 2 fingers into Liu Ru Yan's body, causing her intense pain. The painful memories made Liu Ru Yan unable to hold back her tears. Seeing this, Liu Nian was a little surprised. He quickly supported her and asked, "Liu Ru Yan, what's wrong? Is it really that painful? Should we stop practicing?" But Liu Ru Yan just hugged him tightly and said, "No, let's continue." In her heart, she felt deeply moved by his warmth. This guy actually cares about the pain of others. If you look closely, he didn't seem sleazy at all, almost like a perfect gentleman. Thinking this, Liu Ru Yan couldn't help but smile with satisfaction. But Liu Nian was completely confused. What's wrong with her? She was just crying, and now she's smiling. Has she gone crazy from her training or something? Then, every little movement from Liu Nian made Liu Ru Yan shiver all over. She grabbed the seat next to her tightly. "I'm about to melt," she thought, feeling like a mermaid in cold water, being held by her master with a warm, magic staff. Liu Ru Yan clutched the staff tightly. "Thank you, master. This winter, I won't have to fear the cold anymore. Liu Nian, I can't stand it any longer. Please, use the primal force quickly." Liu Ru Yan's seductive expression made Liu Nian pause for a moment, then he released the primal force. Once everything was done, Liu Nian, exhausted, fell asleep. Liu Ru Yan lay in his arms, thinking to herself, after this kid finishes his training, he just falls asleep. He smells so good. I never imagined training with him would feel this comfortable. She gazed at Liu Nian's handsome face, her heart full of emotions. Although nothing romantic has developed between us, I've already fallen for him physically. This feeling of fullness in my heart is something I've longed for my whole life. Liu Ru Yan lit a cigarette and took a deep drag, thinking to herself. At this point, there was nothing more she could do. The memories kept coming back. She remembered the dark days she spent in prison. Liu Ru Yan had been gagged and bound, her hands and feet tied up, and then thrown into a pool of water. Tears filled her eyes as fear overwhelmed her. Just then, Shen So-han walked over. "Liu Ru Yan, as long as you're my woman, no one will dare hurt you," he said. With that, Shen So-han forced her head under the water. A sense of triumph washed over him. "Think it through and stretch your toes as far as you can. Liu Ru Yan gradually lost consciousness, but all she could think about was one thing. She wanted to live, she didn't want to die. Liu Ru Yan quickly obeyed Shen Sohan's command and curled her toes. Seeing this, Shen Sohan smiled smugly. If you're my woman, you should know what to do next. Then, two girls pulled Liu Ru Yan out of the water. Shen Sohan yanked her pants down and looked at her, kneeling at his feet. Liu Ru Yan quickly understood what he meant. Though she didn't want to, she had no choice but to do whatever it took to satisfy Shen Sohan. Having achieved what she hoped for, Shen Sohan was overjoyed. This is amazing. 8 years later, when her sentence finally ended, Liu Ru Yan walked out of prison with a deep sense of resentment. Those who wronged me, I will make them pay twice over. Back in the present, those memories made Liu Ru Yan reflect with a sigh. To get my revenge, I turned to Hong Kim, a local influential figure who owned the club, and became close to him. But since he had harmed himself by using drugs and engaging in strange practices, I was really just his companion in name. Liu Ru Yan continued to reflect on her life. I often went to romantic places because to fit in, I pretended to be a charming woman. But after pretending for so long, I couldn't tell if I was acting or if it had become real. She gently tried to win Hong Kim's favor. Hong, someone is bothering me. You have to help me. I used Hong Kim to teach a lesson to those who mock me in court. I caused them serious harm and an accident that left my aunt permanently affected. But I still hadn't found Shen Sohan. As I planned to secretly leave Hong Kim, one day he told me to help me become stronger and that he himself could change. He pushed me into this challenge. I thought if I trained hard enough, I could escape Hong Kim and find a happy life with someone real. But I didn't expect his power to grow quickly with the help of his ancestor, and he ended up controlling me even more tightly. Here's the translation. Let me introduce briefly. Hong Jin was a member of the radical sect. Initially, he belonged to the Tang faction, but after their defeat, he surrendered to the Zhou family. He later died in battle alongside his wife, Princess Long Ji, when they charged into the 10,000 Immortals formation. After his death, the Divine Board honored him as the Long Gestar. Liu Ru Yan once again lay on Liu Nian's chest. This time, Shen Gong Bao sent me to assassinate you, but as soon as I saw the artifact you had crafted, I knew I had fallen. Even though my mind told me I shouldn't like you, I couldn't do anything about it because my body had already chosen you. Suddenly, at that moment, the Great Spirit burst through the door. Congratulations, Liu Nian. Both Liu Ru Yan and Liu Nian were startled and quickly covered their sensitive areas. Seeing this, the Great Spirit mocked them. Are you two cultivating together? Ding Guang Xian Chang'er doesn't even practice as diligently as you. Let me explain. Ding Guang Xian Chang'er betrayed the radical sect during the 10,000 Immortals formation and joined the Western religion. He was introduced by the Taoist immortal and appointed as the Ding Guang Stai Huan Buddha. Cultivating the Huangxi method is also a type of dual cultivation. Liu Nian responded sharply. Do immortals like to kick down doors? Is there any privacy here? Is there any respect for the heavenly law? The Great Spirit coldly said, You, a mere mortal, dare to speak privately with an immortal? With just a flick of my finger, I can know what you're thinking, and with a simple rub of my eyes, I can see what you're looking at. Do you understand that there are divine beings above your head? She quickly got to the point. All right, I won't waste time. I'm here to deliver the decree of the Jade Emperor. You all should go bathe and change your clothes. Upon hearing this, Liu Nian turned pale, thinking to himself, the Jade Emperor issued a royal command for a mere mortal like me. Judging by the Great Spirit's expression, it doesn't seem like it's anything bad. A moment later, the royal edict was quickly read aloud by the Great Spirit. Liu Nian, a mortal who has slain great demons and helped countless souls escape suffering in the secret world of the game, is hereby promoted to Holy Maiden, Lone Wolf's companion, with the Heavenly Court's External Affairs Department. He should kneel and thank the heavens. After receiving the decree, Liu Nian, still confused, leaned in and whispered to the Great Spirit, How big of a position is Holy Maiden, Lone Wolf's companion? Is it like being the prince's classmate in our world? The Great Spirit awkwardly smiled and replied, He's pretty much like that. All things considered, it's quite a big deal. She kindly reminded Liu Nian, Remember, don't mention the specific rank to anyone from the mortal realm. If they ask you, just tell them it's a big position. Challenge their enthusiasm first, then trick them into working hard. Thinking to herself, haven't you heard of the External Affairs Department? It's like being a classmate of the prince. You just swap the terms special for mortal and holy maiden, which is a rank with no grade or title, similar to being a servant to the gods. Liu Nian was absolutely thrilled when he heard the news. Now he was also an official in the heavenly court. He thought to himself, those saintesses probably had some divine background. If he could win over a few of them, his father and everyone else would be protected. But then, a pang of sorrow filled Liu Nian's heart. After all, he was a decent person. Conquering 18 saintesses and helping his father and everyone else was already a huge challenge for him. Hearing this, the Great Spirit was stunned. She was left helpless in front of Liu Nian. It was time for her to leave. So she spoke up, "I'll go back and fulfill my orders. Don't worry, both I and the third prince will protect you." With that, the Great Spirit winked. The Grand White Celestial Star Lord took a moment to remind Liu Nian, "If you become close with the lone wolf, it might lead to a nice salary increase for you in the future." Liu Nian nodded. "All right, I understand. Thanks a lot." After that, the Great Spirit quickly left. She couldn't help but glance back, secretly thinking to herself that she also wanted to cultivate alongside Liu Nian after seeing those mortals break through. Unfortunately, he was just a mortal, and for someone of her celestial rank, there wasn't much she could do for him. Moreover, if a celestial deity was found to be involved romantically with a mortal, it would result in heavenly punishment. That was definitely not a good thing. Below, Liu Ru Yan kissed Liu Nian on the cheek and said, "Congratulations, Liu Nian, on receiving the heavenly position." Liu Nian smiled widely. "It seems like my act of killing the great demon has already been noticed by the Jade Emperor and the Grand Marshal, but I can't help but be suspicious. The Jade Emperor sending me, someone with dual cultivation, to accompany the saintess. Isn't that like sending Sun Wukong into the Peach Garden?" Later that night, Liu Nian and Liu Ru Yan each returned to their rooms. He took out the spoils of the day to meditate and cultivate. Although it had been risky, he had successfully convinced Liu Ru Yan. If he continued to help her with a few more problems, she would eventually be entirely his. First, he decided to check on Daji and the others. If they could leave the Heian Yuan tomb, it would definitely increase his power. Without delay, he used the Jade Seal to teleport to the Heian Yuan tomb. Upon arrival, Liu Nian was immediately surrounded by Daji and the others. Daji, holding a grape in her mouth, fed it to Liu Nian. He accepted it with a smile, even spitting the seed onto a plate beside them. Daji pouted playfully. "This time, we were lucky to have the great king, or we would never have been promoted in rank." Liu Nian heard this and asked curiously, "So, does that mean you can leave the heavenly tomb now?" Daji rubbed her chin and said, "Not yet. All three of us need to reach the mid-stage of the Demon King level before we can." Yu Garen, who was standing next to her, spoke up. "My sister is already a Demon King, so practicing with the Great King wouldn't help. The Great King should practice with us more." Daji frowned and kicked her. "You're shameless. Do you really think my sister doesn't know what's going through your mind?" She quickly turned to Liu Nian, pouting, "Great King, I want to." Hugh SMA also wrapped her arms around Liu Nian from behind. "Great King, I want to too." Liu Nian smugly spread his arms wide. "If all my dear consorts are so eager to train, then go ahead, I'll join you." All three of them walked up to Liu Nian and playfully punched him. "Great King, you're so bad." But soon, all three took their positions and the training began. Liu Nian looked at them, hesitating. "Who should I train the first?" Hugh XMA spoke up, "I'm the weakest. Could you start by training with me, Great King?" But Yu Garen disagreed and said, "I can give way on many things, but not when it comes to training with the Great King." Daji also said, "I'm the eldest sister, so I'll go first." Hugh XMA was happy. Just then, Liu Nian's younger brother suddenly appeared in front of XMA's younger sister. Hugh XMA felt like an electric shock ran through her body, and Liu Nian was in a good mood. It would be best to improve Hugh XMA's strength first. She blushed and turned to look at the king, asking, "Why did you suddenly do that?" Yu Garen couldn't help but feel jealous, thinking, "If only I had known earlier, I wouldn't have rushed through my training like this." Hearing this, Liu Nian said, "Both of you should try my new technique, the illusionary golden hand." Then, a series of movements took place, transporting the two girls into a fairyland. Tian Tian looked at the scene in front of her, surprised, thinking, "The king is so powerful, and the three older sisters are actually 1,000-year-old monsters." Meanwhile, Hugh XME was forced to kneel. She complained, "My lord, my stomach is about to break. This yoga pose is so embarrassing." Liu Nian slapped her on the bottom and scolded, "Who told you not to train regularly? Out of the three sisters, you have the lowest level of cultivation." Hugh XME looked at Liu Nian with a slightly pitiful gaze and said, "I'm naturally simple-minded. I hope the king will train with me." Liu Nian felt happy upon hearing this. He recalled past memories, especially the last time when the three sisters, Daji, had controlled his weapons, and now he could fight them for 3,000 rounds. Daji and Yu Garen couldn't hold back the intense heat within themselves either, and they quietly pleaded, "Great King, we want it too." Liu Nian, feeling proud of himself, summoned the 9 dragons. "Listen carefully to what I say. You must train seriously. Once you leave the Heian Yuan tomb, I will guide you to become saints. As for the things that Lady Nuwa promised you but didn't deliver, let me explain those matters. Lady Nuwa had instructed Daji and brought the disciples of the radical sect into the fold to help suppress the fate of humanity. Once the task was complete, she would help Daji reach enlightenment and become immortal. However, after the fall of the Tang dynasty, the saints refused to acknowledge this. Thus, Daji was killed and turned into an ordinary person, with her soul imprisoned forever in the Xian Yuan tomb. After thousands of years of cultivation, Daji rebuilt her body and swore to remain loyal only to the new emperor, vowing to help him restore the ancient glory of the human throne. Immediately, a surge of primal energy rushed into the bodies of the group. Liu Nian bound Daji's arms and legs with the 3 dragons of water, and then the 9 dragons were ready for action. A long battle arrow shot straight into the body. Watching this, Tian felt a strange sensation rise within her. She thought to herself, watching the elder sisters practice makes my whole body feel so warm. Suddenly, the heat intensified even more, and Tian couldn't help but say, "It's so hot." Seeing this, Liu Nian immediately said, Tian, come and train with us. Upon hearing this, Tian couldn't help but feel excited and moved closer, saying, "Thank you, my lord." But halfway through, Daji stopped her. She looked at Liu Nian and said, "Please, my lord, don't be distracted. Keep helping us train and leave Tian to me." With that, she got close to Tian and the two kissed each other. Liu Nian, even though he was watching, couldn't help but blush. He helplessly said, "Daji, you're stealing my business again." Daji immediately defended herself, saying Tian is free to come and go from the Xian Yuan tomb, but we really need the Lord's help to improve our strength and break through the restrictions. However, the Lord has been coming to the Xian Yuan tomb less and less, and the power of the Hongwang is also gradually decreasing for us. Liu Nian felt guilty hearing this. The reason is that I've been so busy leveling up. But you all probably understand how leveling works, right? Watching the intense scene between the two women in front of him, Liu Nian couldn't help but think to himself, watching them kiss is really making me excited. He immediately felt full of energy. Today, if I don't help you two break through to a small level of cultivation, I won't stop. Daji, also unable to contain her excitement, was the same as the other two women. They all received the power of Manhwa. The scene shifts to a bedroom in an apartment somewhere. A gentle voice calls out, Sister Jiang Su." The girl being called wakes up with a start surprised. Huang Fei, this person is Jiang Su. Jiang, the Empress, reincarnated. As the magic item in Huang Fei's hand gradually fades away, she sighs and says, "A spiritual treasure really works. My sister finally remembers me." A quick introduction to this person. Huang Fei, also known as Your Highness Wang, is a concubine of the new Tang Emperor. Because the radical sect immortals wanted to force a rebellion against the Wu Kingdom, Huang Fei, a tiger in disguise, planned an assassination. After her death, she was honored as the Earth Goddess Star. Huang Fei leans close to Jiang Su and whispers, "Did you purposely destroy the Queen's glass chalice to be exiled to the mortal world to search for that heartless person?" Jiang Su, feeling sympathy, tries to defend. "Sister, don't speak ill of the great king like that. We've fallen into the plot of the immortals. The great king couldn't bear to see our new people suffer, so he offended the gods, which led to the disaster." Huang Fei, hearing this, is displeased. The ancient gods are no better. To avoid being killed, to enter the path of eternal righteousness, they would steal the spiritual energy and luck of humans. Here, we need to clarify further. There are two main reasons that led to the battle of the gods. First, the 12 golden immortals of the doctrine of must be elucidated and expanded had committed mortal sins. When they died, their souls needed to go through a trial. Second, because the heavenly emperor of the celestial court had no true gods, but the elite disciples of the doctrine of must be elucidated and expanded did not want to join the divine ranks. Therefore, they used the method of testing lives. Most of the 12 golden immortals had recruited many disciples before the great trial began. The Guo Chengzi of Yin Jiao and the Chai Hong of Yin Hong were afraid and had to send their grandson to take their place on the divine board. Jiang Su sighed, "The urgent matter now is to find the great king." Huang Fei immediately shared some news with her. In the small world of the game, there is a rare talent who practices dual cultivation. That careless person. The great king was also someone who practiced dual cultivation before. Upon hearing this, Jiang Su immediately realized it was Liu Nian. Huang Fei then asked, "Do you know Liu Nian, big sister?" Jiang Su blushed at the question and replied, "We met once by chance. I almost got harmed by a white-boned spirit, but he saved me." Seeing her expression, Huang Fei couldn't help but tease, "Why are you so shy? Do you like that Liu Nian kid?" Jiang Su, caught off guard, blushed even more and lightly hit Huang Fei. saying, "You talk nonsense, Huang Fi here, take this." Huang Fi smiled mischievously. "Big sister, please spare me." Jiang Su, still embarrassed, clarified, "In my heart, there's only one person, the new great king. I definitely don't love anyone else." Huang Fi, hearing this, hugged her from behind and sighed, "No wonder you're so devoted. If the great king wasn't in such a hurry to restore the ancient emperor's body, and if it weren't for the scheming of the radical sect and the long-sighted self-centered traitors, if he'd never learned that cultivation technique and become more lustful, he wouldn't have teased Nuwa, your highness, nor would he have met Dao Ji. It's clear that, in the past, the great king treated you like royalty." Jiang Su heard this and said, "Even if the king doesn't fall for the plan, the ancient immortals will not forgive him." She remembered how Da Jinga had once been imprisoned and clarified. The 12 golden immortals had to rely on the luck of the human race to save themselves, and they used the radical sect as a shield to take the fall for them. If this plan fails, there will still be other ways. After Da Ji was executed, her soul was trapped forever. The world will no longer have an emperor of humanity, and with that, the radical sect will also be destroyed. Your Highness, Nuwa has to face the consequences of her actions and will be in closed-door meditation forever. At this point, Jiang Su's tears streamed down her face. How tragic for the king. Not only did he fail to restore the glory of the ancient human emperor, but after his death, he will be scorned by future generations. All of this started with the ancient immortals' conflict. To explain briefly, the 6 major crimes of Zhao Luan. First, he didn't use proper imperial relatives and instead trusted slaves. Second, he showed disrespect to the gods and ignored important sacrifices. Third, he favored petty people. Fourth, he was excessively warlike. Fifth, he listened to the advice of women. Sixth, he was obsessed with drinking. Huang Fi couldn't help but sigh. Our fate is really hard. Why do the immortals fight like this, and we're the ones who have to suffer? Jiang Su immediately walked over. Sister, you still have your divine position. Is there any way to investigate Liu Nian's past life? Huang Fi nodded. Yes, if you borrow the yin-yang mirror, you'll be able to see his past life. Upon hearing this, Jiang Su quickly said, "Then hurry up and borrow it. We need to investigate whether Liu Nian was a great king in his past life." Huang Fi teased, "Look at how eager you are, yet you still say you don't like Liu Nian." Jiang Su, a little embarrassed, threw a pillow at Huang Fi. "Are you still going to keep talking?" Huang Fi mischievously ran off, saying no more, but then added, "I'll go borrow it now." With that, she used teleportation. Jiang Su hoped that she would be able to sense the presence of a great king from Liu Nian, hoping he was the one she had been searching for. Meanwhile, on the 5th level of the small world, a spatial gate appeared. From within it, the mighty bull demon king, the great saint of heaven, rode in on his fierce blue water dragon, followed by tens of thousands of demon beasts. The bull demon king, filled with rage, roared, "The heavenly court is lawless. They took my son, killed my wife, suppressed me, and exiled me to the demon realm. Today, I'll take the lead and invite the heavenly court to its doom." Explanation. In this scene, the bull demon king's son, Hong Haier, was taken by a bodhisattva of the Western sect. His second wife, the beloved 7-tailed fox, was killed by Zhu Ji. The heavenly army also mobilized tens of thousands of divine soldiers and generals to restore order. Leading the army was Wen Zhong, a master of the highest Dao, followed by Deng Chanyu. "You're eager and your appearance shows you're ready to volunteer," Wen Zhong said, granting his approval. Immediately she shouted, "Raise the battle spirit." Deng Chanyu, a general of the Three Mountain Pass, had been ordered by the Grand Master to fight against the enemy. To explain further, Deng Chanyu had served as the general of the Three Mountain Pass before her death. The divine soldiers behind her shouted, "Kill." Then she mounted her warhorse and charged forward. On the side of the Bull Demon King, the Yaksha King, and the top-tier demons, they quickly readied themselves for battle. "Let me, the Yaksha King, experience your move." The two sides rushed into combat. Deng Chanyu swung her spear toward the Yaksha King. With a single strike, she cleanly decapitated him. She pulled the reins of her horse and shouted loudly, "The enemy general, the Yaksha King, has been slain." Immediately, the army's morale was lifted as the soldiers cried out together, "The enemy general, the Yaksha King, has been slain." The demons, hearing this, were filled with fear. At that moment, the Tiger Vanguard Demon King rushed forward, a formidable opponent who dared challenge even the celestial immortals. He charged straight at Deng Chanyu. Luckily, she dodged just in time, but the poor horse was torn in two. It seemed like the horse had some sense of what was coming. It looked at Deng Chanyu with tear-filled eyes, but in the end, its fate was sealed by the vicious tiger demon. At that moment, Zhang Kui, a seasoned warrior in the early stages of Taoist mastery, stepped forward. "Lord Tai Shi, should we call Deng Chanyu back to let General Tsu join the battle?" he asked. Wen Zhang shook his head. No need for that. However, you can go with Gao Lan to support Deng Chanyu in case anything unexpected happens. Jiang Kui acknowledged the order. Wen Zhang kept his eyes on the fight, thinking to himself, Deng Chanyu is a naturally gifted general of the Great Tang. I believe she has the strength to fight through any hardship, but it's such a shame that she fell victim to a plot by those who wanted to ruin her, pushing her onto the divine board. At that moment, Zhang Kui beat the drum, and on the other side, Deng Chanyu rose to her feet, spear in hand. She unleashed all her strength, and the surrounding monsters were intimidated by her power, but the tiger demon remained unfazed. With a fierce roar, he shouted, That's nothing. Take this, my hammer. Deng Chanyu quickly drew his twin swords and slashed at the lead tiger. His mace was immediately shattered. The pioneer tiger swiftly created a barrier, and the strike passed through, sweeping away the group of demons. The scene shifted to the Bull Demon King, where a subordinate rushed in, out of breath, and reported. The 3rd Legion of Xiao Quan Feng has been completely wiped out in the first battle. Furious, the Bull Demon King shouted, The human race, after going through the great war of the gods, really has some power. Even though they're suppressed by the divine board, they still have the strength to fight above their level. The Bull Demon King unleashed his full power, and the entire army surged forward. Immediately, the generals and soldiers charged together. On the other side, Deng Chanyu smiled and sheathed his sword, then summoned the 5-colored stone as his magical artifact. With a single strike, everything in its path was completely wiped out, not leaving a trace behind. Seizing the opportunity, Wen Zhang waved a red flag and shouted loudly, 10th Ultimate Formation. Jiang Kui immediately took the flag and commanded Earth Blocking Formation. The Earth Blocking Formation was one of the 10 Ultimate Formations. The celestial soldiers quickly took their positions, and Jiang Kui chanted the incantation. At once, the entire army was empowered. The soldiers roared in unison, Kill. Seeing the overwhelming power of the formation, even the lead tiger was taken aback. He thought to himself, This is the 10th Ultimate Formation. Didn't people say this formation was weak? Looking at the fire-breathing dragon with its tail in the air, the tiger quickly scampered off in fear. Hey, Bull Demon King, hurry up and use your magic weapon to save me. But when he looked back, the Bull Demon King had already left the battlefield. He had opened a teleportation portal and disappeared. The tiger could only sigh, my poor behind. Scene shifts to the diplomatic office, where Liu Nian was trying to ease his worries. Liu Nian wasn't there, and he couldn't have been happier. The reason was simple. There was a gap on the 5th floor, so Liu Nian assumed Liu Nian had gone up there and hadn't returned yet. However, unexpectedly, just as he was feeling content with his actions, a cold glare shot him from behind. Suddenly, Liu Nian approached and gave him a tight hug. Look at you! You made a mess. Let me help. Her embrace sent a chill down Liu Nian's spine. Then, Liu Nian immediately grabbed his little bird. She seemed confused and asked, why is the faucet turned off? Liu Nian was furious at this point. Liu Nian, how am I supposed to finish this now? But Liu Nian just smiled softly. It looks like we need to find a private room for your transformation. She then dragged Liu Nian into a nearby restroom and locked the door. Liu Nian's hands were bound tightly as he sat on the toilet. He was about to protest, but Liu Nian silenced him with a spell. She smiled wickedly and said, Don't worry, you're a friend of the Lone Wolf, personally appointed by the Jade Emperor. I won't hurt you. I came all the way down from the 5th floor today just to congratulate you. She then took out a large cup. Look at this. Liu Nian's face went pale as he stared at it. What was she trying to do? Then something unbelievable happened. Liu Nian began to lower her pants and, laughing, said, I'm going to pour you some hot beer now. She poured a stream of golden liquid into the cup. She looked pleased with herself. See, this is the hot stuff. Sorry, I've been a little tired lately, so my protein levels are a bit high. Just then, the sound of a door slamming from outside startled Liu Nian. Outside, Huang Tian Kang and the fully ascended immortal were angrily kicking over a water basin. Damn it, the battle was over in the blink of an eye, and all the credit for this mission went to Deng Chanyu. He remembered that when he was just 8 years old, he could kill cultivators like Fang Lin with his human body. If it weren't for the Divine Board holding him back, he would at least be a true immortal by now. At that moment, a thought crossed his mind. That's right, if he could pursue Liu Nian and marry her, maybe through her connection to her father, Liu Zhen, he could find a way to get off the rankings. But then he quickly grew disgusted with his own thoughts. Huang Tian Kang was handsome and refined. If it wasn't to get out of the rankings, why would he have to pursue that ugly purple-skinned woman? At that moment, someone walked in and, hello, General Huang. Inside the bathroom, after hearing the words Huang Tian Kang said to her, Liu Nian felt a surge of anger and thought to herself, Huang Tian Kan, you dare call me an ugly, purple-skinned woman? It's because of this neglect that Liu Nian managed to slip away like a fly. By the time Liu Nian realized what had happened, Liu Nian had transformed back, wrapped his arms around her, and kissed her. Liu Nian was left dazed by Liu Nian's kiss. Had this kid really managed to escape his restraints? Huang Tian Kan was just outside. If he found out and it spread, her affair with a mortal would be ruined. While she was distracted, Liu Nian quietly took the freshly brewed warm beer from Liu Nian and stored it in his spatial ring. He continued holding her and thought to himself, Liu Nian must be concerned about the water issue. I'll take this beer to the little healer, Chuandang, for an examination. Maybe she'll have a solution. That way, I can build up some goodwill. But for now, I'm going to teach Liu Nian a lesson. With that thought, he immediately used his illusionary golden palm technique to lightly touch around Liu Nian's body, unable to hold back a soft moan. Outside, Huang Tian Kang immediately heard the sound, and the person with him quickly shouted, Who's making all that noise inside? Huang Tian Kang's heart skipped a beat. Could someone have been eavesdropping just now? Inside, Liu Nian pointed to his mouth, where he had been silenced, signaling for the restriction to be lifted. Though unwilling, Liu Nian had no choice but to grit her teeth and lift the restriction, especially with the loud knocking at the door. Hey, is anyone there? With no other option, Liu Nian reluctantly released the silence barrier. Only then did Liu Nian sigh in relief. The man pretended to flush the toilet and said, Sorry, I was squatting earlier and my leg cramped up a bit. Then he awkwardly opened the door. I'm a solitary friend here for a report. Sorry about the loud noise earlier. Huang Tian Kang finally relaxed. He looked at Liu Nian with a look of contempt. As a mortal, Liu Nian probably wouldn't even pay attention to someone like you. Since they were standing so close, Liu Nian was afraid that Huang Tian Kang might sense his thoughts, so he didn't dare to think too much. Right now, Liu Nian just wanted to take advantage of Huang Tian Kang being at the door to leave quickly, to avoid getting beaten to death by Liu Nian. After a quick check, Huang Tian Kang gave a sharp order, Go report now. Once everyone left, Liu Nian stayed inside. She was furious, her teeth clenched tight. Liu Nian, the humiliation I suffered today, I will return 100-fold. The scene shifted to an office. Liu Nian followed the directions and called out, Is anyone here? No one responded. Just as Liu Nian was about to push the door open, a woman appeared behind him. This is the External Affairs Department of the game. May I help you? Liu Nian nervously scratched his head and answered, I'm the solitary friend appointed by the Jade Emperor Liu Nian. Hearing this, the girl immediately recognized him. She exclaimed, Oh, so you're the mortal who cultivates both body and spirit, Liu Nian. She immediately walked around sniffing Liu Nian, then commented, It doesn't seem like there's anything special about him. Liu Nian's face turned bright red. He hesitated and asked, Hello, may I ask who you are? The girl introduced herself, Hello, I'm Xiao, and from the External Affairs Department of the game. A bit about this girl. Xiao and is a beginner immortal of the Fox Fairy tribe. She is the daughter of the Bull Demon King and the Jade-Visaged Vixen. After the Jade-Visaged Vixen was killed by Zhu Baji, Princess Iron Fan adopted Xiao En. When Princess Iron Fan ascended to the Heavenly Court, she arranged for Xiao En to be her attendant. Seeing Xiao En's fair skin and hearing her sweet voice, Liu Nian couldn't help himself. He had to forcefully restrain his strength. No, the weaknesses of my dual cultivation holy body are becoming more obvious. I must control myself. Thinking for a moment, he asked, Sister Xiao En, where is my workplace? Xiao En was surprised. Your workplace? Follow me. Following Xiao En, Liu Nian was taken to a corner of the office, which felt a bit deserted and sparse. There was a dog lying there, the celestial hound in charge. Beside it was a sign that read, Lone Wolf Liu Nian. He couldn't believe it and pointed ahead, saying, That's my position. After getting a nod from Xiao En, Liu Nian was so furious, he threw the sign and yelled, I can't do this job. It's too humiliating. They said my position was high, but now I have to work with these little dogs. The celestial hound insulted barked angrily, You're the little dog. Your whole family is a bunch of little dogs. Just to clarify, the celestial hound is a small breed of dog from China, now facing the risk of extinction. Liu Nian was still preparing to run when Xiao En coldly reminded him, The Jade Emperor has given an order. If Liu Nian dares leave this mission, he'll be torn apart by 6 horses. Liu Nian's face turned pale as he imagined the scene. 6 horses? Isn't it supposed to be 5? Xiao En walked over, giving him a pointed look. This is a special favor from the Heavenly Court to the dual cultivating holy body. She leaned close to his ear and whispered, anyone who is torn apart by 6 horses will be reborn as a eunuch for the rest of their lives. Hearing that, he couldn't help but feel a deep sorrow. The Jade Emperor was cruel. Liu Nian had no choice but to accept working with the dogs. Everyone who passed by couldn't help but sneer. Look at him, he looks like a dog. Liu Nian, feeling insulted, snapped, what are you looking at? Keep staring and I'll make you pregnant. If you're not going to behave, it'll blame me for being unfair. I originally just wanted to escape this game with my father and the others, but now I've decided to go big. I'll turn all the gods into my lovers. Even the Celestial Hound was disgusted, thinking to himself, finally, I've found someone even more shameless than me. But unexpectedly, someone was hiding behind a wall, watching Liu Nian. It was Ao Yi, the son of the EC Dragon King. He took a puff of his cigarette and thought, this dog-like creature is Naja's favorite. Naja has quite the taste. This misunderstanding stemmed from an AI video of Liu Nian with Naja, the third prince, created by Xiao Q. Ao Yi shot a cold, hateful glance at Liu Nian. But, in the end, it didn't matter. He would use this kid to trap Naja and get revenge for his younger brother's death. With that thought, he flicked away the cigarette and left. Liu Nian shivered, wondering if he was about to catch a cold. At that moment, Xiao came over and handed Liu Nian a leash. From now on, you need to go to the Ministry of External Affairs every day. Clock in for an hour, then take the Celestial Hound out for a walk. After that, you can go train and level up. Liu Nian wasn't happy about it. He snorted and said, is there really no benefit to this job? You're just wasting my time for training. Is this how the Heavenly Realm treats us, the workers? Hearing this, Xiao smiled and tried to reassure him. Of course there are benefits. Once you become immortal, I'll make sure to promote you. But Liu Nian wasn't naive enough to fall for that anymore. He immediately refused. Stop right there. No more empty promises. I've heard that too many times. Though he wasn't thrilled, he reluctantly agreed. Fine, I'll take this little dog with me. Taking it out is better than staying here and being laughed at by others. The Celestial Hound immediately gave Liu Nian a look that wasn't very friendly. Though it wasn't happy about it, Liu Nian still had to take it for a walk. As soon as they stepped outside, they ran into a beautiful dog walking with its owner. Liu Nian, getting the hint, quietly asked, do you want to ride it? The Celestial Hound nodded eagerly. Seeing this, Liu Nian casually said, go quickly and come back. I'll wait here. At that moment, he noticed Fang Qi walking toward them. Liu Nian was about to call out, but a few people ahead blocked his way. The subordinate looked at Fang Qi and said, great king, it's that woman. Meanwhile, Fang Qi was still happily thinking about the fact that this time, Master Fang had given him 2 life-saving magical items. One he gave to Liu Nian, and the other he kept for himself. But while they were on the road, she was suddenly stopped by a group of people from the Long clan. Let me introduce Ji. He is the 9th son of the king of the Jing Dragon, who was once imprisoned by the crown prince of the West Sea Dragon King. After being released, he was appointed as a high-ranking official in the Celestial Court and became the general of the Tialong King in a 9-tiered game world. Fang Qi was a bit startled when the road was blocked, and a group of small soldiers surrounded them. Pretty girl, don't go. The Dragon King has taken an interest in you. Ji said with a wicked grin, you guys be gentle, don't hurt my little beauty. She needs to be treated like a precious gem. Hearing this, the 2 underlings chuckled lubely. Great king, we have an idea. At that moment, Liu Nian was about to make a move and beat up the group, but before he could do anything, Wang Peng suddenly rushed over from who knows where and kicked one of the underlings. The other soldier was furious when he saw this. Wang Peng turned to Liu Nian and said, big brother, you don't need to step in. This is a safe area, and I have something I need to tell you. Ji, seeing that someone had dared to mess with his plans, angrily shouted, you little brat, how dare you ruin my business? The subordinate next to him immediately fired his signal flare to call the manager. Where did these blind idiots come from? How dare they attack the manager in the safe zone? Don't you see that our Dragon King has already issued a special mission for this female player? Wang Peng sneered and replied, I only see you guys plotting against my sister-in-law. Wang Peng had learned through the network that the eldest daughter of the Kuaishan Corporation was Liu Nian's girlfriend. At that moment, Liu Nian, who had been standing behind, coldly spoke up, step aside, cousin. This isn't your business. Seeing this, Fang Qi grew worried. Liu Nian, don't do anything. Immediately, Ji and his group surrounded Fang Qi. Seeing this, she quickly spoke up. I am a descendant of the legendary General Fang, Pathmaker. I hope the Dragon King will show some respect to my ancestors. However, Ji and the others burst into mocking laughter. Pathmaker General Fang, that's quite a high position. He looked at her with contempt as if the gods on the divine board were less than dogs. His words angered Celestial Hound, who barked in fury. Roughly translated, it said, when do you mean dogs are beneath you? You're the one who's worse than a dog. Hearing the dog bark, Daji quickly stepped back in fear. Whose dog is this? Catch it. Taking advantage of the moment, Fang Ti quickly ran over to Liu Nian. He stepped forward, adding with a smirk, some of you really are worse than dogs. You need to be caught. Being scolded, Daji was so angry that he was practically steaming. He shook with fury and shouted, "How dare you insult a god, mortal?" Wanpeng immediately stepped in front of him, saying, "Cousin, don't do anything." At that moment, the Zhu Ten lady appeared from the distance and asked, "Who has the nerve to fight in Tai Flea Mountain?" Daji pointed straight at Liu Nian and said, "These two dared to beat up a staff member and insult a god, so the Dragon King wants to take them away." But Zhu Ten lady wasn't concerned about that. She raised an eyebrow and asked, "Daji, if I'm not mistaken, you're the Dragon King's ninth son, right? Why are you causing a scene here on the first level?" Hearing about his background, Liu Nian thought to himself, so he's the ninth son of the Dragon King of Jinghe, who was killed by someone. His mother was the sister of the Dragon King of the West Sea. He did something bad in the Blackwater River, so Sun Wukong had to send the West Sea Prince to bring him back for punishment. Looks like he's been released to continue his role as a Dragon King. But how could a second-level Dragon King come down to the first level without provoking Fang Ti? This whole thing seems suspicious. Fighting within the city wouldn't benefit Liu Nian. Plus, he had many skills he couldn't reveal, but he had to find a way to capture Daji. He'd heard that Daji had a wife who was clingy, but in reality, this wasn't the case. Liu Nian mistakenly believed that the Princess of Blackwater River was Daji's wife. In fact, Daji was just a lapdog to the Princess of Blackwater River, who still hadn't been won over by him. No matter the reason, if anyone dares to block my path today, especially when it comes to my woman, they better not blame me for turning into a ruthless emperor, paying them back tenfold with the same kind of cruelty. On the other side, Daji angrily pointed at the lady and shouted, "You're just a minor deity, and you dare to lecture me, a high-ranking official? You're courting death." The lady didn't care, coldly replying, "My ancestor is the sacred altar messenger. Every time he visits my little house downstairs, he always brags about the delicious dragon liver at the Heavenly Palace feast." As she spoke, she couldn't help but feel a bit of longing. The dragon liver was served at the annual peach banquet, and was always one of the most coveted dishes. Daji was furious, blood rushing to his face. With gritted teeth, he growled, "You're crossing the line." The lady sneered, "I'm just speaking the truth. By the way, you're not even a real dragon. You look more like a pig dragon hybrid. I doubt you even have the right to sit in the Heavenly Palace." Just to explain, the term pig dragon refers to the crocodile-like image of Daji. It's actually a creature resembling a crocodile from the Yangtze River. Daji's teeth ground together in fury. He immediately launched an attack, shouting, "You're asking for death." But Lady immediately used Zhu Nuang's protective shield to suppress him. If the Dragon King Daji doesn't return to the second floor, don't blame me for opening the Grand Formation and destroying you. Daji was furious, but couldn't do anything. He gritted his teeth in frustration. "Fine, if I can't interfere with what's happening on the first floor, then I'll just let my uncle know. The Dragon King of the West Sea needs to be informed that some people in the Secret Realm game are disrespecting the Dragon Clan." With that, he angrily left. Liu Nian was a little confused and thought to himself, is he really just going to leave like that? Fang Ti, deeply grateful, bowed and thanked Manager Zhu for stepping in to help. "It's nothing. Liu Nian and I have a management relationship. This little thing is no big deal." Hearing Fang Ti's confusion, the manager realized she had misspoken, so she covered her face and hesitated. "Right, what I meant to say is that the term management relationship refers to a shared commitment to a common goal. Jiang Xiao Bai is a descendant of Jiang Ziya." Fang Ti was surprised and said, "Oh, so that's what it means. It's a good thing I actually paid attention in class back then. So, you two were close friends." At that moment, Li walked over and leaned in close to Liu Nian, whispering, "Do you think I could invite my close friend over to my house to fix the plumbing?" This startled Liu Nian, but Fang Ti, who was clueless and didn't understand, scolded him. "Look at you, even fixing a friend's plumbing and you have to drag it out like this? Hurry up and go already." Liu Nian quickly made an excuse, saying he had to go back to the building to return the dog. He felt a little nervous inside, secretly thinking that her plumbing issue wasn't just a simple fix, it was like a bottomless pit. Fang Ti then said, "Let me help you return the dog. Remember to come back soon." The lady, extremely pleased, took Liu Nian with her. Wanpeng was left in the dust, crying silently. "Hey, cousin, have you forgotten about me?" The scene shifted to the lady's house. It was a modest apartment with a pot of delicious-smelling chicken soup simmering on the stove. The lady was thrilled, deciding to eat first to gather her strength. Meanwhile, Liu Nian sat anxiously, his mind racing. What if the little piglet found out about this? would he go to Zhu Baji's ancestors to complain? A quick explanation. Zhu Ten Lady is the daughter-in-law of Zhu Baji. Since Zhu Baji had no biological sons, his adopted son came from his brothers. At that moment, the lady brought out a bowl of wolfberry chicken soup, gazing into the pot as Liu Nian muttered to himself, "Why are there so many wolfberries?" She ladled some soup into a bowl, speaking softly, "Don't move. Let me feed you. Open your mouth." Liu Nian reluctantly opened his mouth, but as the spoon approached, the soup was so hot it almost burned his tongue. Seeing this, the lady quickly grabbed a towel to wipe his mouth. "Is the soup too hot for you?" Liu Nian, embarrassed, said, "I can feed myself. It's like you're treating me like an invalid." But the lady shook her head. "No, I don't want that. I like feeding you." Then she took a spoonful of soup herself and fed it to him directly from her mouth. This was completely unexpected and caught Liu Nian off guard. He ended up with a nosebleed from excitement. Who knew eating could be like this? A while later, the chicken soup was gone. The lady pouted, "Look, you've eaten your fill, but I'm still starving." Liu Nian awkwardly replied, "The food was so good that I didn't even notice when I finished. Let me help you order more." But the lady smiled and said, "My mouth is already full, you understand." Hearing that, Liu Nian could only cry silently. He knew it would be like this. The two quickly moved into the bedroom, their gazes full of affection. The lady said, "Well, I'm going to start eating now." Immediately, Liu Nian dove deep into the blue ocean of her affection and the whole house shook violently. Liu Nian gritted his teeth and said, "Lady, I want to pour all my strength into you." The lady, excited, replied, "I've reached the final stage of my cultivation. Go ahead." Liu Nian bit down hard and unleashed a powerful burst of energy into her body. Instantly, her cultivation level skyrocketed. Afterward, the two of them just held each other, feeling content. At that moment, a knock came at the door. "Mom, are you there?" "Something's wrong. Your son Liu Nian is in trouble." Hearing this, the two of them quickly hugged each other in panic. A little pity continued, "Mom, something's happened to Liu Nian, the Dragon King of the Four Seas once." Inside, the lady had hidden Liu Nian under the blanket, nervously trying to stop him. "Son, I'm not feeling well today. You go to the Tian Kang Trading Guild first, and I'll join you later." Hearing this, the little piglet asked worriedly, "Mom, why is your face so red? Are you feeling sick anywhere?" Under the blanket, Liu Nian quickly thought, the little piglet probably won't lift the blanket, so I'll just keep quiet for now and see how things go. Noticing the little piglet's concern, the lady quickly responded, "Don't come over here. I'm practicing my cultivation and still absorbing some toxins that haven't fully been processed yet. If you come over, you might get infected." Relieved, the little piglet said, "As long as you're okay, that's good. I'll wait for you at the trading guild then." With that, the little piglet turned and left. He thought to himself, Mom has practiced like this before, so it's probably nothing to worry about. But at that moment, his eyes caught sight of a foot sticking out from under the blanket. He didn't say anything, but quietly left. As soon as the little piglet was gone, Liu Nian quickly got up. "Well, I'll head out first," he said. The lady immediately reminded him, putting on her cloak before heading out, "Watch out for the bushes, and if anything happens, run immediately. I'm worried the little piglet hasn't gone too far." Hearing this, Liu Nian immediately used the fire silver needle to check the situation. I didn't expect that behind the bush outside the door, the little pig was lying in wait, ready to catch someone in the act. He looked on helplessly, knowing that no one understood his son better than his mother. Sure enough, a little pig was hiding in the bush, so Liu Nian used his White Bone 8 transformations technique to turn into a mosquito and quietly slipped away, leaving behind the little pig, who was still waiting with red eyes. Afterward, Liu Nian returned to the star-picking tower, and Xiao Chaoniang immediately came to serve him. She lay beside him, gazing at him with pleading eyes. "Great King, please use the golden finger technique that made me surrender last time. I really like that." Liu Nian smiled and replied, "How can a finger be as powerful as the 9 dragons?" He remembered that Xiao Chaoniang's loyalty had reached 50%. "Please choose the hand and foot massage skill. It can open the meridians, boost immunity, and is very effective for treating hidden injuries." Liu Nian, full of affection, thought to himself that this time he would help her improve her abilities a little. Upon hearing this, Xiao Chaoniang's eyes lit up with happiness. She hugged and kissed Liu Nian. "Really? Thank you, Great King." Liu Nian quietly considered that while he could directly order Xiao Chaoniang to help him with things like treating Lai Niangzi's skin, he still needed to give her some benefits so she would dedicate herself wholeheartedly. When the little piglet mentioned the Four Seas Dragon King, it seemed like I needed to hurry and catch Lai Niangzi, asking my father, Lai Zhenzi, to protect me. Naja has been missing recently, and Wen Tai Shu is not here either. If the Four Seas Dragon King shows up, I'll be in real trouble. Najia has already been sent to the edge of the divine realm, and Wen Zhong is still fixing the gap on the 5th floor. At this moment, Xiao Chaoniang sat on Liu Nian, her back to him. She turned around and said, "Great king, lie down. I want to practice on my own." Liu Nian's mind flashed to the image of old man Xuan Guo riding a donkey and laughing loudly. Meanwhile, Xiao Chaoniang began her practice, breathing heavily as she said, "This yoga pose will help me improve my cultivation quickly." Behind her, Liu Nian couldn't help but gaze at Xiao Chaoniang's smooth white back, his nosebleed starting. Her back was really beautiful. He slid his hand up her back, making her shiver as if an electric shock ran through her. Xiao Chaoniang teasingly scolded, "Great king, you were so naughty. Great king, let's change the pose. I feel like I'm about to break through." Then Liu Nian left her and went to find Fang Qi. He stared at the jade pendant he had obtained earlier, thinking about it. The pinkish-green jade pendant. I got it when I opened the package to gift to someone after activating the jade seal last time. Remembering that moment, the system announced Liu Nian has defeated the top-tier boss, the Elder Mouse Spirit, and level up to 40. This unlocks the Imperial Seal gift pack from the Human Emperor, but the system didn't tell me what this seal was for. Whatever, I'll just sleep first. But while Liu Nian was asleep, the seal began to glow brightly, pulling him into another world. As soon as he opened his eyes, he heard two people talking. One of them said, "This person must be a refugee, fainted from hunger. How tragic." The other replied, "Who told them not to listen? I heard that some small countries in the east have already been destroyed. Let me explain a bit about this world. The ancient Demon clan, also called the One-Eyed Nation or the One-Eyed Tribe, is described in the Shanhai Jing, classic of mountains and seas. They are giant, one-eyed beings, towering and skilled in combat. They often invade neighboring tribes and follow the ancient custom of cannibalism." One person looked at Liu Nian and asked, "Do you think they'll come to attack our Western Queen Mother's kingdom?" Another person answered, "No way. Even though we're not a capital city, we're a fortified stronghold. Besides, General Jiang Wenji is in the capital city. He could get here in just one day. Jiang Wenji is the name the Western Queen Mother uses when she descends to the mortal world for her trials." Liu Nian listened to the words they were saying, feeling completely confused. The Western Queen's kingdom, demon tribes, what were they talking about? Did men just wake up? The reason for this confusion was the jade pendant, a piece of ancient treasure which had transported Liu Nian, still asleep, to the ancient world, a place where humans, gods, and demons coexisted. At that moment, the sky turned a deep red. A large, bloodshot eye appeared behind the sea walls, sending the people into a panic. Seeing the monster, one person screamed in fear. "Isn't that the Thon Tian Elder, one of the 3 great kings of the demon kingdom, who was sealed by the gods?" To clarify a bit, the 3 great kings of the demon race are Fei Tian Elder, Wu Tian Elder, and Thon Tian Elder. Liu Nian stared at the massive monster, thinking to himself, where did this creature come from? Could I be dreaming? Right then, the monster swung its fist, shattering the city wall's defense. The people, seeing this, quickly scattered in all directions. "It's over. The wall's fallen. Quick, run inside the city." The monsters charged in, and the city's archers immediately drew their bows to fire, but all their efforts were in vain. 2 filthy men looked at the women in the city with lecherous eyes. One of them said, "That young lady is so delicate and gentle. I want to play with her first before devouring her. I'd love to have a little chat with her." Standing before the eyes of the demon clan, the girl was terrified and tried to turn away. But the commander of 100, Zhang Quan, immediately raised his sword and shouted, "Anyone who retreats will die. First, let's get the people to evacuate to the inner city. General Jiang Juncheng will arrive soon." Tian Juncheng was the capital of the Queen Mother of the West Kingdom. The monster roared loudly in front of the commander of 100, then grabbed him and swallowed him whole. The soldiers on the wall, stunned, watched in silence. "Commander of 100 is dead. Run. Everyone scatter quickly." A drop of blood dripped onto Liu Nian's face, and he silently thought, is this a dream? Why does the smell of blood feel so real? At that moment, he saw 2 frightened girls behind him. He immediately ran over to cover their mouths, one eye still staring ahead. "I found you." Seeing the hand reaching toward them, Liu Nian quickly grabbed the 2 girls and ran off. Whether this is a dream or not, saving them is urgent. First, I need to hide them. One of the girls spoke up, "Big brother, I know a safe place. There's an underground shelter over there." The scene shifted to the inner city, which was packed with people. Voices shouting everywhere, some pushing forward. "All you country folks from the outskirts, move out of the way. Let me through. I'll pay you. Just let me pass. But if the officer kicks him, line up properly." Lai Cheng was furious. "I've always lived inside the city. Why do I have to stand in line with these country folk outside the walls?" The officer kicked him again. Damn, because I'm the country bumpkin you're talking about from outside the city. Just then, a wounded soldier came over. Line commander of 100, they're all dead. Hearing this, his hand holding the sword trembled. He raised his sword and shouted, "Brothers, let's charge!" A little while later, on the battlefield, the officer had been severely wounded. He hugged his own body and cursed. "Damn it, Shang Quan, damn you. You can't have gone far. Wait for me." He immediately got up, charged forward, and yelled for an attack. But in the end, the entire squad was wiped out. Scene shifts to an underground cave. Liu Nian was holding two little girls. "Don't be scared. Tell me your names. Where are we? What's up with that one-eyed giant outside?" The two girls answered, "I'm Juk Xuan, and she's Ju So. This is the fortress of the Western Queen Mother's kingdom. The one-eyed giant outside is a member of the demon race, also called the One-Eyed Tribe." Upon hearing this, Liu Nian thought to himself, Western Queen Mother's ancient kingdom, the One-Eyed Tribe. This is the era written about in the classic of mountains and seas, the ancient primordial age. No wonder this place feels so full of spiritual energy. Only a place with this much spiritual power could give birth to such monsters. Suddenly, at that moment, Liu Nian's jade pendant lit up, and a screen appeared from within it. The jade pendant, a rare and precious artifact from the primordial chaos, was a time-based treasure that could send its wearer through time to the primordial era. The time reset is 1 week. To activate it, you must consume the treasure. If the traveler dies or the time travel ends, they will be forcibly sent back to the original world, and their health will be restored. The time-traveling spiritual energy lasts for 24 hours. The post-primitive spiritual treasure lasts 1 week. The post-primitive supreme treasure lasts 30 days. The primordial spiritual treasure lasts 1 year. The effects of the primordial supreme treasure are unclear. To clarify the classification of these items, post-primitive spiritual treasures, post-primitive supreme treasures, primordial spiritual treasures, primordial supreme treasures, and chaotic supreme treasures. After reading this, his face darkened, and he thought, I admit that recently I've been managing my time more, but there's no need to give me a time-based treasure and send me to such a dangerous era like the primordial chaos. Here, whether you're a regular person or a one-eyed giant, everyone is surrounded by spiritual energy. If this were the future, even that would be considered close to transcendent power. As for a mortal like me, if you even touch me for a moment, I'd either be dead or crippled. It's absolutely essential to head to the star-picking tower one day to patch up the defense layer. Seeing him muttering to himself, Juk Xuan and Ju Su stared at him, confused, and asked, "Who are you talking to, big brother?" Suddenly, a loud thud echoed above their heads. Liu Nian jumped in surprise and quickly motioned for silence. The voices of the one-eyed monsters came from above, and they could sense human presence below. They were eager to feast. Tig Dig, the man sitting next to them, laughed joyfully. The killing intent created by the fear before humans die is the purest, perfect for offering to the boss to evolve his weapon. One of them spoke up. The Heavenly Village Elder and most of the team have gone to ambush Quan Man Ki. Hurry, we need to move out too. Hearing this, Liu Nian's hand clenched, trembling with anger. He thought to himself, these disgusting human-eating monsters, even though I could shrink and escape, these two girls would definitely meet a terrible end. Juk Xuan and Ju Su, also terrified, had tears in their eyes. "Big brother, please save us," they begged. Liu Nian quickly thought of the monsters and started calculating. Staying here would only make them easy prey. It would be better to charge out and take a risk. Besides, with the giant and most of the team off on the ambush, there might be a chance to save them. With that thought, he embraced the two girls and kissed their foreheads in reassurance. I'll fight them to draw attention. The two girls waited for their moment and then ran. Without another word, Liu Nian broke through the ground and shot straight up. With a heroic shout, he yelled, "Your grandpa's here? Come at me if you dare." The monsters, hearing this, looked at him with hungry eyes, and Liu Nian's resolve faltered slightly. He raised his hand and taunted, "Come at me one-on-one." To his surprise, one of the monsters recognized him and sneered. "There's still the scent of the little girls down there. Don't let them escape." Hearing that, Liu Nian screamed inside. It was clear these beasts had their eyes locked on the two girls. There was no choice now. He had to fight to the death. Suddenly, the monsters lunged at Liu Nian. One opened its huge mouth to swallow him whole, but he struck first and cut off its head with a single move. Liu Nian let out a breath of relief. Luckily, the skills and items he got from the game world still worked here in his wild, primitive realm. Without wasting time, he activated the 9 aperture unlock. Now able to see all the monsters' weak points, Liu Nian charged forward. In one sweeping assault, he slashed through every single one of them. The system's warning echoed loudly. Demon spell alert, 9-fold dragon chain. All 9 revivals have been used. He was badly hurt by now, breathing heavily. There are just too many. Thousands of heads. Is this what war feels like? Juxuan and Ju-Su watched him in fear and worry. Brother, don't worry about us anymore. But he turned and shouted, run, now. Tears welled up in Juxuan's eyes. Brother Liu Nian, forget about us. You have to run. He didn't listen. His eyes were full of resolve. The young warrior, wild-haired and fearless, his heart pounding with courage, made up his mind. Liu Nian rushed forward, ready to fight to the death. If this was the end, they would live and die together. A vow worth more than gold. A final deadly strike fell, and the monsters were completely wiped out. However, Liu Nian was severely injured. He coughed up blood, but inside, he felt a surge of joy. He couldn't believe it. He had actually gotten the chance to be like Su Luan, even if just for a moment. Su Luan was the main character of a story Liu Nian loved reading. Just then, the victory announcement echoed. The general of the Imperial Army has beheaded the leader of the sky-connecting beasts. Kneel and surrender. Hearing this, Juxuan Ju-Su was overjoyed. We're saved. Big brother, what's your name? Liu Nian barely had time to give his name before he passed out. He was quickly transported back by the system, with a notification ringing. This time travel event has ended. Teleportation to the game world is imminent. The scene shifted, and Liu Nian's memories of the Wild Blood Age were transferred. The scene moved to the dark and mysterious underworld. At that moment, the Nine-Yang Toxin Maiden was soaking in a large bathtub, holding a spider lily in her hand. Her eyes gleamed with deep thought as she softly called out, Liu Nian, could you explain the Nine-Yang Toxin Maiden for me? The Nine-Yang Toxin Maiden was originally the daughter of the divine god of the public. After her father's death, she was adopted by Nu Wa, your highness. Later, due to a mistake, she was demoted and sent to the moral world, where she met the Nine Heavens' mysterious maiden. By chance, she became a disciple of the Queen Mother of the West. The Nine-Yang Toxin Maiden was the founding master of the alchemy school and even created the Toxin Maiden Sutra. However, ancient legends still didn't explain how she became so skilled in alchemy. The scene shifted again, this time to the heavenly realm, where the Nine Heavens' mysterious maiden was deep in meditation. With a contemplative look, she quietly murmured, Liu Nian. The scene shifts to a small room filled with the sweet scent of flowers. Here, Weinpeng, Liu Nian's cousin, is giving Baba Urban a massage. Weinpeng breathes heavily and asks, why did the sea creatures suddenly want to go after my cousin? Baba Urban responds, when Elbing was fixing a hole in the 5th level game, he was struck and crushed, leading to his death. The EC Dragon King was furious. After Elbing was attacked by Naza and absorbed by the Divine Board, he was honored and turned into a divine flower spirit. Weinpeng still has many questions and asks, what does Elbing's death have to do with my cousin? Baba Urban explains, your cousin was the youngest disciple that Najida loved the most. Besides, according to reliable sources, Najida has given your cousin many high-level magical treasures. Hearing this, Weinpeng begins to understand and thinks to himself, no wonder my cousin has been able to defeat powerful demons one after another. It must be those treasures Najida gave him. It seemed like a good thing at first, but now, with the gods fighting, it's the little guy who's suffering. I need to find a way to save my cousin. At that moment, Baba Urban laughs with satisfaction and asks, what are you still thinking about, little brother? Want more news? Then keep massaging me. But Weinpeng doesn't listen. Filled with anger, he cracks his fingers and makes a firm decision. Great power, great strength, give me your might. For my cousin, I'll risk it all. The scene shifts to Liu Nian, who is currently out in the wild fighting monsters. He thinks to himself, Fang Qi and the others are almost level 30, getting ready to take on the floor boss. I've leveled up way faster than them. At my current level, I can easily crush the boss. In this game world, the first floor of Tai Fi Mountain is for players level 1 to 30. The second floor, Shang Tai Mountain, is for players level 31 to 40. The third floor, Diket Mountain, is for players level 41 to 50. Just then, Liu Nian receives a message. The Saintess of Bamboo has arrived in the game world. Coordinates 4,571 on Tai Fi Mountain. Go beat her quickly. Seeing the message, a slight gleam appears in Liu Nian's eyes as he thinks, the Saintess is here. If there's a girl around, I'm not one to miss an opportunity. At that moment, an arrow speeds toward him. He quickly dodges and thinks, this isn't good. There's a Water Tribe army closing in on me right now. Why are all these Water Tribe creatures monsters? He charges forward, dealing blow after blow to take them down, but there are so many of them. At the same time, in another place, the Holy Woman of the Southern Bamboo, Po Dukai Ni, was captured by a group of people. And those people were none other than Wang Yi and her followers. She even boldly started a live stream for everyone to watch. The people had already set up the massive rocket in the square. As soon as they saw her live stream, they were all shocked. Look, a woman's been caught by a demon. Kaine's image was displayed on the big screen for everyone to see. Meanwhile, Huang Yi walked over and grabbed Kaine's pale, delicate neck, eyeing her hungrily and saying, "So this is the southern bamboo holy woman. Smooth skin, soft flesh, she must taste delicious." Everyone couldn't hold back their disgust at her behavior. This demon was so arrogant, daring to capture someone in broad daylight. The girl standing next to them couldn't help but speak up. "I've heard that recently large cracks have appeared in the 5th level, and many demons have slipped through." A man nearby sighed in frustration. "I'm still not at level 50 yet. Even if I die, I won't get a chance to become a heavenly soldier. Who is this southern bamboo holy woman? A foreign cultivator?" Someone else couldn't contain their anger and cursed. "What is the management doing? Is Wen Zhang just useless?" On Huang Yi's side, she was touching Kaine's body, praising her. Great figure, so firm and bouncy. Then she touched Kaine in a very inappropriate place, making her jump in fear and scream. "Please don't." At that moment, the Bull Demon King walked in and said, "Had enough fun? Hurry up and come to the meeting. There's something important." Reluctantly, Huang Yi had to end the live stream, leaving the viewers confused. Why didn't the live stream suddenly stop? But in reality, that was part of Huang Yi's plan. She had thought it through. This saintess was still pure. If the live stream continued and she absorbed her energy, the result would be quite surprising. The Bull Demon King heard this and sneered. Such a nasty habit. Lord Lahao had told her not to hurt the saintess and to focus on the main task first. After explaining, it was clear that the saintess' body was still in a state that hadn't undergone any certain actions yet. The scene shifted to the meeting room, where Ao Bing had been waiting for a long time. When the two arrived, he spoke up. "Bull Demon King, Huang Yi, the Demon Queen, you've arrived." Seeing Ao Bing, Huang Yi was a bit puzzled. Why was Ao Bing here? Wasn't he a deity of the Divine Board? After Ao Bing was killed by Najda, the Divine Board had taken him in and made him a flower among the gods. The Bull Demon King then explained to Huang Yi, "Ao Bing has been persuaded by me. He's now on my side. I used Lord Laho's magical artifact to cut off the Divine Board's pursuit, and it can be used 3 times. Each time, it can sever the connection for 10 days. To completely cut off the ties, the only option is to destroy the board or escape to the demon realm." As he spoke, the Bull Demon King took out the Water Moon Mirror, a magical artifact that Lahao had given him. Ao Bing stood up, fuming with anger, and said, "Naja took my tendons, and then the Divine Board bound me for 1,000 years. I can never forgive him for this. I'm about to head to the demon realm, and who knows when I'll be back. But before I leave, I have to kill Lady L, the woman my father loved most, and Liu Nian, his closest younger brother. I'll make them suffer the same way I have to heal the wounds I've carried for 1,000 years. The Bull Demon King, listening closely, praised Ao Bing while subtly flattering him. "Exactly, a tragic past like yours should be avenged with the blood of your enemy's entire family." He thought to himself, "This is perfect. I'll use your thirst for revenge to stir up chaos in the little world of the game. Hopefully, it'll lead the Dragon Clan to betray their own and side with the demon race." After thinking this, he turned away. The situation had calmed down for now, and it was time to meet Xiao En, the daughter with the jade face. With a loud pop, the Bull Demon King transformed into a small, adorable bull. He was quite pleased with himself for having taken a transformation pill, which changed his appearance and erased all traces of his demon energy. Now, no one would recognize him. Meanwhile, in the square, the Heavenly Realm had just issued a statement to all servers announcing that due to the poor performance of the Foreign Affairs Division of Tai Fei Mountain, the saintess of the Southern Bamboo had been kidnapped by a vile person. If they didn't find the saintess in 3 days and capture the culprit, Xiao En from the Foreign Affairs Department would be demoted to a mere mortal, and Liu Nian, also from the Foreign Affairs Department, would be torn apart by 6 horses. This news quickly spread, causing Xiao En to collapse in her office at the Foreign Affairs Department. She couldn't believe what she was hearing, and tears filled her eyes. Isn't Lai Niangzi the one in charge of the lookout? Shouldn't she be the one responsible for this? What does this have to do with me? I'm just a humble servant of the ancient gods, not the head of the Foreign Affairs Department. To explain a little about the role of director here, the director of the Foreign Affairs Department in Tai Fei Mountain is called the head female. According to Sima Kan's records of the Grand Historian, the 3 stars of the head female are located at the eastern tip of the celestial axis, and they represent celestial maidens. Meanwhile, the Book of the Later Hand mentions that the celestial head female, also known as the true female of the emperor, is said to be the daughter of the heavenly emperor. This news also reached Haksu, and she was extremely worried about Liu Nian. She started thinking, "Liu Nian's in trouble. I can't just sit here. I have to find He Xianzi." Bai Ji, who was standing behind, smirked quietly to himself. Liu Nian, I never thought I'd see you in this situation. I think you're as good as dead this time. Meanwhile, over at Liu Nian's side, after a tough battle with the aquatic creatures, he was exhausted, but thankful for his experience in large-scale battles from the ancient chaos period. Otherwise, he would have had to transform and run for his life. At that moment, an announcement came through. If the culprit behind the capture of the saintess of the southern bamboo isn't found within 3 days, Xiao En's jade face would be stripped of its divine power and sent down to live as a mortal. Meanwhile, Liu Nian from the Foreign Affairs Department would be tortured by the Six Horses. Liu Nian was stunned when he heard this. He had been ambushed and the saintess was taken by a demon. How could things possibly be this coincidental? But at that moment, a thought suddenly crossed his mind, and he immediately noticed the punishment. His face turned pale. Wait a minute, I'll be torn apart by the Six Horses. Liu Nian quickly used his strength to run back. Damn, if something goes wrong, it all falls on me. Just wait until I get stronger. I'll definitely break through the southern heavenly gate and attack the Jade Tower. He quickly arrived at the entrance of the dungeon, Lanru Temple, to meet Xiao En. As soon as he saw her, Liu Nian said, Xiao En, I. But before he could finish, Liu Nian was slapped. He didn't understand, feeling angry as he said, Why is this crazy woman hitting me? Xiao En trembled and replied, Do you even know how much I've struggled to get to this point? I thought I could become a full-time employee. After finishing the work in this game's secret realm, I thought I'd finally be able to stay with my mother forever. Now, everything is ruined. Xiao En said that her mother was the adoptive mother, Princess Tai Fan. With tears welling up in her eyes, she ran up to grab Liu Nian's clothes and scolded him. Because you didn't bring the saintess on time, I'll be banished to the mortal world, and I'll never be able to stay with my mother again. Liu Nian quickly stopped her and explained, First, I was just attacked by demons. Second, I'm also a victim here. If this case isn't solved, I'll end up being torn apart by those horses. Third, we must solve this case within 3 days. Xiao En was left confused, thinking to herself, he says the case can be solved in 3 days and even uses the word we. What role do I play in this? I have no idea how to solve this case. At that moment, Liu Nian's image in Xiao En's mind turned into the brilliant detective Sherlock Holmes from England. In her imagination, she stood proudly next to Liu Nian, thinking, Sherlock Holmes, that means I'll be Watson. Meanwhile, Liu Nian was deep in thought, planning his next move. Although he still had the memory of the demon attack, the distance was too great, and even if he opened up all the 9 bloodlines, he wouldn't be able to trace it. Just then, the image of the celestial hound appeared in his mind. Liu Nian was overjoyed. I got it, that stupid dog. He quickly grabbed Xiao En's hand. Come with me. Xiao En felt a sudden jolt in her heart. She wondered, why is he suddenly holding my hand like this? Isn't he embarrassed? The next day, Liu Nian quickly rushed over, speaking softly to Celestial Hound and offering a great deal. If you can solve this case, anything you want in the future, I'll give it to you. But in response, Celestial Hound turned around and walked away, signaling that it wasn't interested. Xiao En spoke up, Celestial Hound is really lustful. My mom oversees all the spirit dogs in the divine realm. Maybe she could pick out a few beautiful ones for you. At the mention of beautiful spirit dogs, Celestial Hound's eyes lit up and immediately agreed. In that case, I need to practice my divine skills with the spirit dogs first. Liu Nian signaled that it was fine, no problem. Then the two, one person and one dog, ran off to find Princess Iron Fan, leaving Xiao En standing alone watching them. She was confused and muttered, I haven't even finished speaking yet. My mom probably won't agree to this. But it was too late. The two of them had already reached the gate of Gulan Hui, and Princess Iron Fan looked a bit displeased when she saw them. Xiao En, why did you bring a man here? Don't you understand the rules? And on top of that, it's that filthy dog again. Get rid of them immediately. Standing before Iron Fan's imposing presence, Xiao En trembled and quickly replied, Yes, mother. She then whispered to Liu Nian, Let's go back. Mother won't agree to this, but Liu Nian still took a chance. He bent down and pleaded, Princess Iron Fan, I know you are always willing to help others. Many people have come to you in trouble before, and you always had your maid investigate and find the truth. In the end, they were rewarded and ascended. Today's matter concerns your daughter, and we hope you can help us through this disaster. In response, Princess Iron Fan coldly said just 2 words, See them out. Feeling the coldness from Princess Iron Fan, Liu Nian grew a bit angry. He stepped forward and raised his voice, Demon Woman, even if you've raised that dollar for 1,000 years, you must have some feelings for it, right? Now Xiao En is about to be sent down to the mortal world, and you, as her mother, aren't worried at all. When she's in the most danger, all she wants is to be with you. Princess Iron Fan frowned at Liu Nian's harsh words, then turned to Xiao En as if questioning her. Xiao En, why haven't you seen them off yet? Are you trying to make your mother so angry she dies just so you can have fun with this shameless man? Xiaowen was scolded, and fearing that she might upset her mother, she quickly knelt down and explained, "Mother, this is a misunderstanding. This time, the Jade Emperor issued an order for us to capture the criminal, or else we would face severe punishment. I didn't want to be apart from you, so I brought him here to beg for your mercy." But Iron Fan responded coldly, "This is all the will of heaven." With that, she turned and walked away. "From now on, I am no longer your mother. You'll have to take care of yourself." Xiao and couldn't believe that her mother would say something like that to her. However, deep down, Iron Fan also felt immense pain. She thought to herself, "The Lahu clan sent an old Rakshasa to hide in the demon realm and contact me. I'm afraid they have already been captured by the heavenly court. If Xiao and continues to follow me, she might lose her soul. It's better for her to become a mortal on Earth to avoid the disaster." To explain this part, the Rakshasa clan is an ancient race. After the Rakshasa kingdom was destroyed by the West, most of the Rakshasa people fled to the demon realm. Hearing those heartless words, Liu Nian immediately pulled Xiaoan away, urging her not to beg her mother anymore. "Let's go." Even though Xiaoan's heart ached, she still cried out, "Mother." Just as they reached the door of the hall, Liu Nian was slapped again by Xiaoan. She angrily scolded, "Why did you pull me away?" Liu Nian, equally frustrated, raised her hand. "You've slapped me so many times today, and I didn't even do anything wrong." Xiao, and sobbed in anger. "Go ahead and hit me. You might as well kill me. If my mother doesn't want me, then I don't want to live anymore." After saying that, she burst into tears. Liu Nian couldn't bear to watch and sighed, "You're hurting my heart by hitting me. Fine, if you want to hit me today, go ahead." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao and started punching him in the chest until blood dripped from his mouth. While hitting him, she scolded, "Why did you separate me from my mom? Why didn't you tear us apart?" Liu Nian, bleeding, had no choice but to endure it. Was she really hitting him? But then Xiao and suddenly rushed forward and hugged him tightly, crying uncontrollably. Liu Nian's heart softened. He wiped the blood from his mouth and gently comforted her. "Don't worry, I won't let you be separated from your mom. Trust me, we'll stay together." She lifted her tear-filled eyes and asked, "Really?" Liu Nian immediately raised his hand to the sky. "Of course it's true. If I don't make it happen, I'll be struck by lightning." Before he could finish speaking, Xiao uncovered his mouth. "Don't say crazy things in this little world. You'll really get struck by lightning." Taking advantage of that moment, Liu Nian grabbed her small hand. "Don't worry, when I say something, I'll make it happen." Xiaowen, feeling embarrassed, quickly pulled her hand back and blushed. "What are you doing?" "I need to go back to the management building to continue reviewing the files and investigate the case of the saintess." She said that and quickly ran off. As Liu Nian watched Xiaowen's back, he thought to himself, "So cute. My weakness for the perfect combination of holy body and dual cultivation is acting up again. I really want to bring Xiaoan and Princess Iron Fan into the harem." At that moment, Celestial Hound stormed over angry. "Is there still hope for me and the Hellhound?" Liu Nian made an okay sign and reassured him, "Don't worry, I figured out how to deal with the female demon. Just wait here for me." With that, Liu Nian transformed using the White Bone 8 Changes technique and turned into a mosquito, flying straight to Princess Iron Fan's bedroom. Just then, Princess Iron Fan had just finished her bath. Seeing her hot figure, Liu Nian's eyes lit up. This is it. Immediately, he used his mosquito form to fly into the teacup. After her bath, Princess Iron Fan, as usual, drank a cup of tea before lying down to rest. But suddenly, a sharp pain came from her stomach. Could this be? The little one is coming. Sun Wukong was like a brother to the Bull Demon King. Many years ago, to borrow Iron Fan's leaf fan, Sun Wukong had transformed into a worm and crawled into her belly, causing chaos. Princess Iron Fan cradled her stomach and whispered, "Sun Wukong, is that you?" But inside Liu Nian, there was a feeling of complete confusion. Nephew Sun Wukong, Liu Nian, thanks to his unique massage technique, had already reached the late stage of the big demon realm and basically had no fear of Princess Iron Fan's stomach acid. He forcefully stabbed it in her stomach lining, shouting, "I am Liu Nian, Sun Wukong's disciple." But in truth, Liu Nian wasn't actually Sun Wukong's disciple. He was just lying. Princess Iron Fan couldn't take it anymore and gripped the bedsheets, pleading, "Liu Nian, I can't stand it anymore. Nephew, please go outside for now, and we can talk things over." Liu Nian heard this and shouted, "If you don't help me deal with the Celestial Hound, I'm not leaving." Princess Iron Fan gasped for breath and immediately nodded in agreement. "Fine, you can go outside." At that moment, Liu Nian flew out from her stomach, but as he approached the door, Princess Iron Fan unexpectedly turned on him. She gritted her teeth, aiming to kill Liu Nian. Trapped, he angrily yelled, "This Princess Iron Fan is playing dirty." The system also notified that the 9-dragon love spell had been activated, resisting a fatal blow. Hearing this, Princess Ironfan sneered with disdain. I can't believe that after 1,000 years, there's still an idiot like you. You crawl into my belly and think you can escape. But to her surprise, Liu Nian played even dirtier. He latched onto her tongue and said, Princess Ironfan, your tongue smells so good. The sensation in her tongue made Princess Ironfan frown. She can't believe you're still alive. Do you think you can escape? Facing this threat, Liu Nian responded without fear, Don't forget, you have a safer way out. These words made Princess Ironfan's face tighten, and a sense of unease surged within her. Could he be planning something? In an instant, Liu Nian put on the lady's stockings that she had woven for him and swiftly made his way down. His excited voice rang out, It's that particular hole, although it's a bit disgusting. I can use my spiritual energy to transform into a dragon, clear the path. The intense sensation inside his body made Ironfan scream. Inside the 9 dragons, the force continued to surge forward. He even shouted, I don't want to do this, but since you wanted to bite me to death, I have no choice but to go through the back. So first, I have to widen the way to get out. Princess Ironfan couldn't bear the pain. She gripped her thigh tightly, tears streaming down her face. It hurts so much, I agree. I'll agree to anything. Upon hearing this, Liu Nian said, Then swear to the heavens that you will never harm me again, that you'll do everything you can to help me solve this case, and that you'll treat Xiao and well in the future. With no other choice, Princess Ironfan gritted her teeth and said, I swear to the heavens that I will never harm Liu Nian. I will do everything I can to help him solve the case and treat Xiao, and with sincerity. As soon as these words left her mouth, Celestial Hound walked in and shifting the scene to the Dragon Palace. In the EC Dragon Palace, Oolong, the Dragon King, angrily shouted, That Dan, Najira killed my son, causing him to be suppressed by the Fengshan altar for 1,000 years. Now his primordial spirit has been completely destroyed. Ao Yi, standing below, tried to calm him down. Father, please don't be angry. I've already come up with a perfect plan to drag Najira into the game. To explain a little, after the war gods on the divine board die, most of them turn into puppets or have their souls completely destroyed. Since the divine board can't sense Obing, the EC Dragon King assumed that his son Obing's primordial spirit had been wiped out. After hearing his son's words, Oolong snorted coldly. Your plan isn't big enough. I'll ask the true dragon immortal, one of the 12 golden immortals of the Jade Void Palace. If he's willing, he could use a magic weapon to temporarily control Najah. Upon hearing this, Ao Yi bowed and said, As expected, father is wise. Xiao Tuolong is useless, not even able to deal with a mere servant. This time, I'll take matters into my own hands. I'll spread the rumor that Liu Nian is the new emperor and lead Lady Yin to rescue him. At this moment, Najah was still in the Borderlands. When he returns to the game world, he will discover that his mother has been tragically killed. Lady Yin is the cousin of the new emperor, Yin Shou. Here's the translation. At this point, Ao Yi was filled with pride. Given the nature of the primordial chaos pearl, Najah would definitely fall for it. Ao Yi furrowed his brow, deep in thought. This plan had been sent to him by his third brother, Ao Bing, before he perished. As an older brother, he had to make sure to see it through. Ao Bong, hearing this, was very pleased. Keep going, but be careful with everything. Ao Yi bowed deeply. Understood, father. Ao Bong's heart was filled with determination. Xiao Bing, this is the last thing I can do for you. The scene shifted to the kennel headquarters. After a show of strength, Celestial Hound had knocked out all the beautiful dogs there and arrogantly left. The moment Liu Nian saw Celestial Hound emerge, he immediately spoke up. Celestial Hound, you see, I've completed what you asked of me, so now you can help me solve this case, right? Celestial Hound confidently led the way. Following his keen sense of smell, the two quickly arrived at the entrance of the Lan Rusa dungeon. Following Celestial Hound's scent trail, he said, Follow me. Liu Nian quickly followed him. When they reached a tree, Celestial Hound pointed to it. This is the spot. Liu Nian quickly examined the tree. It definitely held some kind of secret, but he couldn't figure it out. Celestial Hound shook his head. I have no idea either. He quickly used his fiery eyes to scan, and sure enough, he saw the figure of Kind Yi below. He thought to himself, I've spotted her. As expected, she's the holy maiden of the bamboo sect. But now, there's a problem. If I report this to the manager, the news will definitely leak. There are so many immortals in the small world secretly communicating with the demon realm. It's better if I handle this myself. Liu Nian turned around and gave instructions. Pull back the guards here. I'll go take a leak and be right back. Once he reached a hidden corner, Liu Nian quickly opened the information panel for the Brave Lady of Earth. He was excited, thinking the Brave Lady of Earth is waiting. I'm going to take her skills. A panel appeared showing the brave lady of Earth, a mouse spirit with a white nose and fur, a peak-level big demon. Her drilling skill could dig 100 meters into the ground in just 3 seconds with a cooldown of 30 minutes. The Earth Claw's skill increased her attack power by 300% for a single target and could heal her after hitting an enemy. The cooldown for this was 5 seconds. The scene then shifted to the star-picking tower, where the bone spirit was dancing to the music while Liu Nian was enjoying the service of Xiao Zhu and Wan Sheng. At that moment, a voice rang out, "Your Majesty, the demon, brave lady of Earth, has arrived. The one who brought her is none other than Xiao Nian." Liu Nian spoke up and asked, "Why isn't your sister, the hundred-eyed demon lord, here?" Xiao Nian replied, "Your Majesty, my sister is ill. Right now, she's lost control over her bodily functions and is bedridden." As she spoke, an image of the hundred-eyed demon lord appeared, groaning in fear. "Your Majesty, I swear I won't harm humans anymore." Upon hearing this, Liu Nian felt a twinge of guilt. Did I go too far with my strength? He then instructed, "Take good care of your sister. Do everything you can to save her. If you need anything, just tell me and I'll gather what's needed." Xiao Nian was moved and began to cry, saying, "Thank you, Your Majesty. In the future, if you need me, I'll be happy to help you learn the power of the wilds. As for my sister's responsibilities, I'll take them on as her younger sister." Hearing this, both Xiao Zhu and Wan Sheng frowned in displeasure, sensing a hidden threat. They quickly knelt and said, "Your Majesty, we're also willing to take on the wild's power responsibilities for you." The brave lady of Earth saw this and wanted to speak, but her mouth was sealed. She could only make muffled sounds. Lady Whitebone, upon hearing this, angrily slapped the brave lady of Earth across the face. "You noisy witch, making a scene in front of the king. I won't allow you to be so rude." She thought to herself, that slap wasn't hard enough to ruin her beauty. This little rat demon is too charming. I'm afraid she'll be favored by the king. At this moment, Liu Nian spoke up, "All right, everyone, you can all leave now." Everyone immediately obeyed the order. "Yes, Your Majesty, we take our leave." But secretly, each person harbored thoughts of backstabbing one another, throwing sharp glares at the others. The position of Empress is mine. Once everyone had left, Liu Nian approached and kicked the brave lady of Earth. She almost killed him, and yet she dared to poison her own body. The brave lady of Earth was knocked to the ground, coughing up blood, her body trembling. Liu Nian stepped forward, grabbed her by the throat, and lifted her up. "You've slaughtered so many people. Tell me, how should I punish you?" The brave lady of Earth responded, "Kill me. I will never bow to mortals. Humans are only fit to be food for me." Without a word, Liu Nian turned her around and attacked the brave lady of Earth in her deepest, most vulnerable spot. Once you enter the star-picking tower, your life or death is no longer in your hands. The brave lady of Earth suppressed her pain, her body shaking. "I won't get excited. Even if you beat me to death, I won't be excited anymore." Upon hearing this, Liu Nian tightened his grip. "I'm just protecting myself. Yet you make it seem like I'm the villain when clearly it's you monsters who want to harm others." With that, he stopped. The intense emotions stopped abruptly, making the brave lady of Earth feel uncomfortable all over. "Huh? Why did you stop? You can't stop. Keep going until I'm done," she said, then turned around, hugging Liu Nian and kissing him passionately, leaving him stunned. Didn't the brave lady of Earth just say she wouldn't get excited anymore? Liu Nian quickly took control of the situation, pushing her down. If she wanted it, fine, but she had to submit to him. Then, Liu Nian placed his foot firmly between her legs and pressed down with force. The brave lady of Earth couldn't take it anymore and gasped out, "Liu Nian, my king." He immediately asked in return, "What did you call me?" Tears streamed down her face as she pleaded, "My king, give me the great 9 dragons." Seeing her expression, Liu Nian silently celebrated. It seemed like he had taken control. If he could get the brave lady of Earth to advance to the early stage of a monster king, he'd gain the defense of a monster king in return. Afterward, Liu Nian sat down on the chair and patted his thigh, saying, "Sit on me, today we'll practice the dual cultivation technique of the human king." With the moon in his heart, Liu Nian's eyes slowly became hazy. She walked over and responded, "Yes, my king." The two of them quickly fell into passionate love. The system announced, "Skill attained, dual cultivation technique of the human king, embrace the moon." Liu Nian felt overjoyed hearing it. The skill had truly been learned. He snapped his fingers. "All right, next, let's have the brave lady of Earth try all 18 martial arts styles at once." Immediately after, a swing dropped down from the ceiling and brave lady of Earth was placed on it. This was called the outer sky swing. She was about to begin the 18-step technique, the human completion 18 forms of the golden rooster stance. After a few moves, Liu Nian laughed with excitement. "I'm about to unleash the power of the primordial chaos." Hearing this, brave lady of Earth quickly shook her head. No, the power of primordial chaos is too filthy for humans. It can't be used. But Liu Nian wasn't listening. He directly poured all of the primordial chaos energy into her body. She immediately began crying and trembling all over. It's so filthy. However, just moments later, Brave Lady of Earth's entire body began to glow, and the system promptly announced, Brave Lady of Earth has leveled up from Peak Big Demon to Early Monster King. She was furious and turned to curse him out. You bastard. Liu Nian smirked at her. Haven't you realized you just leveled up to Monster King? At that moment, Brave Lady of Earth finally noticed. Oh, I'm a Monster King now. Immediately, her attitude toward the primordial chaos power shifted. Well, in that case, I can't waste this power. But after just a small taste, Brave Lady of Earth grimaced. It's so hard to swallow. It's thick and disgusting. Seeing her reaction, Liu Nian sighed in resignation. All right, you've swallowed it, so it's done. At least you leveled up. The Brave Lady of Earth below continued to work tirelessly, replying, What are you even talking about? Do you know how hard it is to become a Lucifer level? It can't be wasted, and the rest should be mixed into a salad. At this point, Liu Nian suggested, We've resolved our past grudges, let's move on from what's happened before. But she greedily scoffed, Once? That's not enough. I want 101,000 times. After that, the two continued their training, and the Brave Lady of Earth's loyalty reached 50%. A while later, Liu Nian finally gained the Brave Lady of Earth's skill, full Earth Mastery. He quickly harnessed his newfound power and headed back to the Celestial Hound. When Celestial Hound saw Liu Nian, he remarked, You can't stop flirting, even when you're going to the bathroom. Truly a role model for the generation. Let me call you brother. At that moment, the system notification announced that many different massage techniques had received protection from the Monster King's early stage defense for 24 hours. Liu Nian, full of confidence, said, I'll go ahead and scout the way. You keep working the market. Celestial Hound, proud and smug, responded, No problem. Hearing this, the big guy chuckled to himself. This Celestial Hound had become quite close, and it looked like helping him find a female dog was definitely effective. The next day, Liu Nian used all of his earth magic to burrow deep into the ground, making several turns until he finally reached his destination. The system notification rang out, signaling he had arrived at the saintess's room. Seeing her from a distance, Liu Nian silently hoped, Could this be the time that Xiao An and I are finally saved? Just then, a red light shot toward him from afar. It was none other than Huang Yi, the mid-level Monster King. Liu Nian quickly tried to block her, but Huang Yi flipped over and clamped her foot down on his head. As Liu Nian struggled, Huang Yi commented, You're still alive? No wonder you're Naja's close brother. He was stuck in a very uncomfortable position and quickly spoke up. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. You haven't bathed in days. You smell like cilantro. Offended, Huang Yi awkwardly yelled, That's nonsense. I bathe every day, you idiot. Taking advantage of Huang Yi's distraction, Liu Nian turned his head and bit into the inside of her thigh like a wild beast. The pain made Huang Yi immediately kick him off. You little bastard, I'm going to kill you. But over on the other side, Liu Nian had already secured her precious item. How dare she get distracted while fighting him? If she just obeyed and became his woman, maybe he'd consider not killing her. Furious, Huang Yi shouted, Lowly, shameless, despicable human! The system notification rang again. Congratulations, a player has obtained the post-heaven divine treasure, the bag of holding. Huang Yi, surprised, muttered. Oh shit, this is the bag of holding. It can suck people inside. To explain a little, the bag of holding is a magical item from Journey to the West created by Maitreya Buddha. It's incredibly powerful, and anyone trapped inside becomes weak and loses their ability to resist. King Huang Yi had used this bag 4 times to deal with gods that Sun Wukong had invited. Huang Yi, seeing this, frowned. This is bad. He's found me. She immediately turned and ran. This bag is a relic of the Bodhisattva Maitreya. I'm just borrowing it, she called out. Liu Nian, noticing this, raised the bag towards her. Think you can escape? Not so easy. Come back to me. In an instant, Huang Yi was pulled by an invisible force, but she struggled to keep running forward, her clothes getting sucked in as well. Huang Yi smirked. Mortal, you can't fully control this bag. But Liu Nian didn't care. He sneered. Doesn't matter. I can take my time bringing you in. He then increased the force. Huang Yi kept running, but she shouted a threat. My father, the great Huang Yi, will not let you off. Let me explain. Huang Yi, the great king, was once Huang Yi, a servant of Maitreya Buddha. He stole the bag and hit the golden mirror of Maitreya, and then fell to the mortal realm to become a spirit. I am his daughter, born after he descended. Hearing this, Liu Nian's joy only grew. Foolish, I'm going to capture you now. The great Huang Yi is my father-in-law. They They continued chasing each other up to the surface. When Celestial Hound saw the scene unfold, he looked at Liu Nian with admiration. Truly, my big brother. When dealing with a female demon, always take her gear first. Brilliant. Really top tier. Huang Yi ran while thinking, trying to put more distance between herself and the others. On the other side, Liu Nian launched his sword, and it shot straight toward Huang Yi's side. The impact made her stagger, pain flooding her face, and he immediately followed up with another strike. As the sword and Liu Nian came at her, Huang Yi quickly transformed into a rabbit, with her bloody rear end trailing behind her as she hopped away. Seeing this, Liu Nian immediately called out, "Quick, help me catch her. Tomorrow, I'll take you to see the pack of female dogs." Upon hearing that, Celestial Hound eagerly ran after them. 1 month, every day, no problem, Liu Nian agrees. Let's go. Celestial Hound charged forward like a fierce tiger. Meanwhile, Liu Nian quickly pulled out his phone and sent a message to Xiao An. Go pick up the saintess. If we can get Huang Yi into the star-picking tower, my strength will grow significantly. In this dangerous game world, even a small increase in power boosts our chances of survival. Then he hurriedly continued his chase. As for Liu Nian's current buffs, they were as follows. A potion that increased agility by 10%, a potion that boosted intellect by 10%, a potion that enhanced spirit by 10%, a potion that raised physical strength by 10%, a world light buff that increased all attributes by 2%, a blessing of warmth and comfort, and an early stage monster King Defense buff. When Liu Nian reached Celestial Hound, he couldn't find Huang Yi anywhere. Liu Nian asked, "Where's that woman?" Celestial Hound, frustrated, replied, "She jumped into the river and ran away." Hearing this, Liu Nian gritted his teeth and thought to himself, both Celestial Hound and I are not good at fighting underwater. It looks like learning the water avoidance spell is a must. The water avoidance spell allows non-aquatic cultivators to move freely in water. Sun Wukong used it when he entered the Dragon Palace all those years ago. Below, Huang Yi clenched her fist in anger and muttered, "Liu Nian, I will make you pay for this humiliation." On the shore, Liu Nian decided to move on. If we can't catch her, let's go meet the saintess. Xiao is probably already there. Celestial Hound didn't complete his mission. Celestial Hound lowered his gaze. "So, will you take me to see the female dog?" Liu Nian immediately gave a thumbs up. "Of course. When have I ever treated you badly?" Celestial Hound was deeply moved by his words. As they headed back to meet the saintess, Liu Nian's actions caught the attention of 2 sea monsters. "Quick, go report back. We've spotted Liu Nian." But Liu Nian had already noticed the 2 sea monsters' presence. He shouted, "Who's there?" The shrimp monster hurriedly explained, "Don't kill me. I'm from the Eastern Sea Dragon Palace, an NPC from the game, one of our own." Liu Nian gritted his teeth, thinking, what kind of trick are these sea creatures trying to pull now? They want to cause trouble, don't they? At that moment, the group led by Aoyi arrived, followed by a cart carrying prisoners and celestial hounds. Aoyi laughed and said, "Today's luck is pretty good. We've caught so many female demons. After my brothers enjoy them, we'll send them to the heavenly court to be turned into pills." Hearing this, the celestial hounds inside the cart grew scared. The hounds growled in response. They weren't demons. They were celestial dogs who entered the cultivation game alongside players, absorbing the spiritual energy of the game world to become celestial hounds. This happened because some players would even give their pets hats and enter the game with them. Some dogs absorb the spiritual energy of the small world, eventually transforming into celestial hounds. Liu Nian stepped forward to clarify, saying, "I've observed them along with Naja's magical weapon. They don't have demonic energy, so they're not real demons. Plus, there are even some humans among them." Ali responded nonchalantly, "So what? If I say you're demons, then they are demons. Besides, we've been given a 5% margin for killing the wrong target. This woman is stopping us from catching demon dogs, so she must be a demonist, just like the demons." The girl locked inside immediately spoke up to protest. "She's not a demon dog. She's my celestial hound, and I'm not a demoness." Aoyi looked at Liu Nian with a challenging gaze. Liu Nian, ever since the new emperor of the human realm had eliminated the ritual sacrifices and following the great war of the gods, the divine realm had been in a state of sealing. It had been a long time since I had tasted the flavor of a human. Today, I will use this seductive woman as an appetizer. Among the 6 greatest crimes of the overthrow of the Zhou dynasty, one was disrespecting the gods and neglecting the sacred rituals. Let me briefly explain the 6 major crimes during the overthrow of the Zhou king. The first, failing to use royal relatives to promote slaves. The second, disrespecting the gods, neglecting sacred rituals. The third, promoting the small-minded and the unworthy. The fourth, obsessed with war, exploiting the people. The fifth, listening to the advice of women. The sixth, being addicted to yum wine. Ao Yi took out a pill, holding it before Liu Nian's eyes, and said indifferently, "Don't think that I'm the only one doing this. Tell me, when immortals above consume immortal pills, do they ever wonder which pill is made from demons and which is made from spirit beasts? Are these dirty things only done by us little gods?" These words directly enraged Liu Nian, and he immediately shouted, "Ao Yi, release the human and all the guard dogs right now." Celestial Hound quickly intervened, saying, "Don't get too worked up. This is something beyond our control. It's a matter for the gods." Liu Nian clenched his teeth in anger and said, "But those people in the cage are your own kind. Can you really just stand by and watch them get taken away to be turned into elixirs? I can't do that." Celestial Hound felt a pang of sympathy, but it also had its reasons. A mortal who dares to strike at a deity would have to face the punishment of being struck by the five thunders. Meanwhile, Ao Yi poured fuel on the fire. He held up a spirit pill and said, "Last month, I accidentally killed a player on the 3rd floor, but luckily, I was already level 50, so I became a heavenly soldier on the divine board." At that moment, a soul emerged from the pill. Looking at the transparent body, the soul realized, "I'm dead. This is my soul." Seeing the confused soul, Ao Yi grinned maliciously. "Liu Nian, soon you'll see for yourself how the divine board turns people into heavenly soldiers." Just then, a beam of light descended from the sky, the heavenly purification beam. The light shone directly on the soul. Liu Nian froze. "What is that?" Ao Yi laughed loudly. "Of course, it's the process of becoming a heavenly soldier." But strangely, when the soul was hit by the light, it screamed in pain. "Mom, it hurts so much." Ao Yi slowly explained, "First, the heavenly fire will burn the soul to purify the body, then it will erase all consciousness, turning the person into a puppet who only obeys the orders of the divine board. Right now, the soul is in so much pain, it can't endure it." Seeing this, Liu Nian couldn't believe his own eyes. He thought to himself, as Xiao Tongtian had warned, this divine board was terrifying for ordinary people. Becoming a celestial soldier wasn't necessarily a good thing. At this moment, the soul had already fused with the celestial soldier armor, and he began to declare, "My name is Wen Bo-jin from Jiao Zhao, Tangwu Old Street, number 11. As he spoke, his whole body felt like it was being burned, making painful sizzling sounds. The girl sitting nearby witnessed everything, her eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to be a celestial soldier," she said, choking on her words. At that moment, Wen Bo-jin was completely burned, tears streaming down his face, but his mouth kept speaking. "I've been with my mother since I was little. I saved 50,000 working hard. The card is under the bed in our rented house." By then, Wen Bo-jin's soul was being sucked away. Just before it disappeared completely, his burned, bloody hand reached out toward Liu Nian. "Give it to my mother, the Yang family. Please, I beg you." His face at that moment was terrifying, blood and tears flowing from his eyes, and his mouth screamed in agony. "Mom, I remember when I was little, you used to feed me." Then, with a puff of smoke, he vanished along with the divine board. The celestial hound, watching from a distance, also felt sorrowful. This scene was the final attachment of the man being wiped away. After becoming a celestial soldier and witnessing such brutality, Liu Nian was furious. He drew his sword in a rage. Ao Yi was taken aback by this. The low-grade, high-tier spiritual treasure was nothing in the next moment, as Liu Nian shattered Ao Yi's treasure and defeated him at once. Before leaving this world, he shouted angrily, "You're just an ordinary human, and you dare." Before he could finish, Liu Nian gripped his sword tightly and cleaved him in two. To explain a bit, Liu Nian's sword is the Dragon Phoenix Sword, which was refined and disguised by the Daji group as a prop in a game, allowing it to kill gods. Witnessing this, the sea monsters scattered in panic. The second prince, Ao Yi, is dead. Quickly report this to the Dragon King. Celestial Hound immediately took shape, looking worried. "Brother, disaster is upon us." At the same time, somewhere else, the news that Liu Nian killed Ao Yi had already spread. Xiao Tongtian, upon hearing this, couldn't hide his shock. One strike to kill the Tai Yi immortal. I didn't expect Liu Nian to be able to manipulate human fate. Could it be because he was enraged seeing his people die? This might be the first strike by a human to challenge the heavenly Tao. Meanwhile, Liu Nian quickly freed the captured spirit dogs. "You should leave quickly, and don't talk about what happened here. It'll only attract the gods' attention." Seeing this, the Celestial Hound advised, letting them run like this is pointless. "First, we should let them hide with Iron Fan. With the support of Tai Shang Lao Jun, no one will dare to touch her for now." Looking at Celestial Hound in his new form, Liu Nian was surprised. "Celestial Hound, you turned into a human?" After thinking for a moment, Liu Nian spoke up, "This is the only way. Let's take them to be Iron Fan right away." The scene shifts to Princess Iron Fan, and news quickly reaches Liu Nian. As soon as she hears it, Iron Fan trembles. Liu Nian is back again. And she's got a message. That girl has found the saintess, and the plan to send her to the moral world to avoid the disaster has completely failed. However, Princess Iron Fan feels a bit uncomfortable at the moment. The reason is that Liu Nian has opened the back door, causing her muscles to loosen. Thinking about this, Iron Fan quickly comes up with a new plan. Now, we can only pray to the Supreme Elder. Maybe he can help us both. This is because Princess Iron Fan was originally a little servant, guarding the 8 trigrams furnace for the Supreme Elder, which makes this task fairly easy. At this moment, Liu Nian arrives. My lord, the case has been solved. On my way back, I saved a few people from the hands of the demons. I hope the princess can take them in and protect them. Liu Nian, don't go too far. Iron Fan frowns when she hears this. But before she could finish, something behind her distracts Iron Fan. Oh no, the muscles around it's leaking again. Noticing that Iron Fan isn't speaking, Liu Nian shows concern. Is something wrong, my lord? Iron Fan grits her teeth and thinks to herself, isn't this because of you? After a moment of pain, she agrees. Fine, I understand. Quickly, take them away. Liu Nian, hearing this, is grateful. Thank you, Iron Fan, my lord. Seeing Liu Nian's impressive figure as he walked away, Princess Iron Fan suddenly felt a stir in her heart. After taking a closer look at the young man, she couldn't help but think, why do I suddenly feel like he's kind of handsome? Just as she finished her thought, Bull Demon King, who was nearby, sneezed and felt a slight pain in his head as though horns were about to sprout, but he quickly brushed it off. At least his daughter had found the Holy Maiden, so he wouldn't have to personally go and free her. However, after taking a few steps, he ran into Liu Nian, who looked grim, clearly troubled by the consequences of killing O Yi. When Teishi nudged, you two need to hurry back and go to the internet cafe to check with Xiao Tong Tian first. Liu Nian and Bull Demon King walked right past each other, unaware of the fateful connection that would tie them together later. Switching scenes to the internet cafe, Xiao Tong Tian immediately handed Liu Nian an iPad as soon as he arrived. This has been going viral online lately. Does this flip like me? I mean, I'm one of the 3 celestial Taoists. How could there be anything about me in this? Liu Nian glanced at the video and covered his mouth, laughing. I think I've seen this before. Seeing Liu Nian's reaction, Xiao Tong Tian grew angry. How can you still laugh? You lost, and now my reputation has taken a hit. Mentioning this, Liu Nian really felt frustrated. He waved his hand dismissively. This isn't my fault. You so-called saints were fighting each other. What do you expect ordinary people like us to do about it? Xiao Tong Tian furrowed his brow. After the catastrophe, humanity has become the dominant force in the world. The path of humanity is now on equal footing with the will of heaven. The 3 emperors can even manipulate the fate of mankind to stand against the saints. If it weren't for the way humanity is suppressed by the will of heaven, humanity would have an unlimited future. As he spoke, Xiao Tong Tian snaps the iPad back. Liu Nian scoffed and replied with annoyance. Next time, you can lecture me about human and heavenly paths. I came here today to ask for your help. I killed O Yi. Can you help me figure out how to handle this? Xiao Tong Tian sighed in resignation. You little brat, you're asking a saint for a fortune-telling? Fine, whatever, I have some free time. I'll do it for you. Then he used his magic to peer into the future. Humanity is thriving. You and the human king will eventually burn yourselves in the star-picking tower. Now the ultimate fate of humanity will be protected by human principles, turning disaster into fortune. Upon hearing this, Liu Nian couldn't hide his excitement. Really? I'm going to be okay? Xiao Tong Tian snapped his fingers confidently. I've never been wrong when I've made predictions. You can relax. Liu Nian smiled. That's great. However, as Liu Nian stood up to leave, Xiao Tong Tian stopped him. Hold on. He immediately took out his phone, grinning widely. The fortune-telling fee was 10 million. Looking at the steep price, Liu Nian's eyes widened. That's so expensive. Are you robbing people? What do you gods need money for anyway? Xiao Tong Tian took the 10 million and explained. Do you think money is just a piece of paper or something that can be exchanged equally? That's a very shallow way of understanding it. Money is the result of people's hard work, a thin piece of paper that represents humanity's vision and desire for a better life. That's why money contains the fate of mankind. This is also why the currency in this little world can be exchanged for real-world currency. Hearing this, Liu Nian couldn't help but ask, so if we lose our money in the small world, can humanity's fortune be restored? Xiao Tong Tian frowned and answered, losses can't be reversed, so the human world, especially the great Xia, will have to suffer a catastrophe. After hearing this, Liu Nian couldn't hide his anger. This game was full of traps, and even the currency system was set up to absorb the fate of mankind. Xiao Tong Tian then offered a solution. If humanity wants to break the cycle, it must make human morality prosper and release the power of the three emperors, which is sealed by the heavenly Tao in the fire cloud cave. If not, the heavenly Tao will reign supreme and everything will be controlled by it. The three saints mentioned by Xiao Tong Tian were Fu Xie, Shen Nong, and Huang Dai. But the truth was not so simple. He thought to himself, in reality, his mother, his friends, and even the whole Daxia would have to face the disaster. Meanwhile, in the game, his father, Fang Qi, and everyone else, including all the players, could die and be sent to the divine board. He had to become stronger and fast. At that moment, Liu Nian came up with an idea. He had a jade pendant that could transport him to the Hongwang realm. If he could go there to the place filled with abundant spiritual energy, his strength would definitely grow quickly. At this point, the entire Tai Fi mountain was surrounded by the Dragon Clan. The sky was covered with dark clouds, thunder roared, and beneath, water monsters formed formations. Leading the group were none other than the East Sea Dragon King Ao Guang, the South Sea Dragon King Ao Qin, the West Sea Dragon King Ao Run, and the North Sea Dragon King Ao Shun. They had come for the revenge of the Dragon Clan's children and grandchildren. The four Dragon Kings were furious, shouting, "Liu Nian, come out and face death." Soon, the water level rose, sweeping everything away. It was no different from the massacre of the commoners years ago. The people quickly fled. Damn, the Dragon Kings are flooding the place. Ten Lady was deeply worried when she saw this. Are the Four Seas Dragon Kings not afraid of violating the heavenly laws by drowning the city of Tai Fei Mountain? She said anxiously. The East Sea Dragon King dismissed her concerns, replying, Liu Nian is a criminal. He killed the immortal El Yi, breaking the heavenly laws. We will hand him over to the heavenly court. With that, all four of them shouted in unison, hand over Liu Nian, or everyone on Tai Fi Mountain will be held accountable. With no other choice, Ten Lady activated her defenses while thinking of a plan. Grandmaster Wen wasn't here. Huang Tian Kang and Lai Niang Zai had been summoned back to the heavenly court several days ago. If they were here, they could have escorted Liu Nian to the heavenly court for trial. But if she handed Liu Nian over now, he might be killed on the way. Above them, the Four Seas Dragon Kings continued to shout, hand over Liu Nian. Watching this, Ten Lady couldn't help but sigh. It reminded her so much of the past. Let me explain how she ended up here. Ten Lady, worried about the Tang family, had been living in the small world of Fengshan, alongside the loyal ministers of the Tang family residing within the Divine Board. She was responsible for the seals, capable of defending against attacks from those at the mid-stage of the Great Lu Golden Immortal level. As mentioned in Chapter 21, Grandmaster Wen had told Lady Yin that Liu Nian was the reincarnation of her cousin Yin Shou. The rumors about Ao Yi spreading that Liu Nian was Yin Shou's reincarnation turned out to be a strange coincidence. Looking at the scene before her, Ten Lady couldn't help but think back to the past, to the time when the Four Seas Dragon Kings were also in the sky, summoning storms and demanding that Navajada be handed over. The memory was painful, and she silently called out, Nazara Liu Nian Yin Shou. Ten Lady reflected on those memories. When I was younger, I was a little girl who wasn't afraid of anything, not the sky nor the earth. Yin Ten Lady practiced sword fighting with her younger brother Yin Shou. With her natural strength, she quickly defeated Yin Shou. You only know how to do that much, she said. Yin Shou, not satisfied, struggled to get up. He replied, Cousin, you only rely on the fact that you're a little older than me. If we were the same age, I could easily beat you. Yin Shou wasn't happy about losing and tried to stand tall. Hearing this, Yin Ten Lady sighed and said, Yin Shou, you're the prince of the Tang family. In the future, your enemies might be devious schemers or even celestial beings. But none of this is an excuse to lose to them. The fate of humanity will rest on their shoulders. These words left Yin Shou stunned. Yin Ten Lady turned away, tears streaming down her face. I'm so jealous of you being a man. No matter how hard I try to become strong, in the end, I'll just get married and take care of the kids. If only I were a man. She couldn't say more, her voice choked with emotion. Yin Shou immediately pointed to himself. Once I become the king of the Tang family, I'll definitely reform and free the women of Tang. I'll make sure they can pursue their dreams just like men. My cousin is the great general of the Tang kingdom after all. But what he didn't know was that later in the history books, one of his 6 major crimes would be that he listened to a woman. Those memories pushed Yin Ten Lady forward, her gaze growing more determined. She stepped toward the shining armor neatly placed in the room. Without hesitation, she put on the helmet and the armor with great confidence, then walked outside ready to protect the Tang family, just as Yin Shou had once said, a general guarding the nation. At that moment, the Four Seas Dragon Kings gathered their strength and attacked the barrier. In an instant, the great formation was shattered and the seawater rushed in like a waterfall. The East Sea Dragon King roared, "Hand over Liu Nian and we'll spare your lives." The Dragon Kings of the West, North, and South Sea were equally filled with rage. "Hand over Liu Nian," they demanded. Liu Nian appeared without making them wait long. He wasn't afraid at all and instead shouted, "You old mudfish, back in the day, the East Sea tricked and killed the daughter of Emperor Yan. Only by begging the ancestor Long to intercede were you able to survive. But your descendants like Ao Bing learned nothing. They controlled the hungry ghosts to capture young girls to forge magic weapons, only to be skinned and disemboweled by Najda. Now your second son, Ao Yi, is recklessly slaughtering humans. The East Sea Dragon clan deserves to be wiped out." Upon hearing this, Ao Gong showed no remorse and stubbornly argued, "Such big words from a mere mortal. Our dragon clan is one of the ancient 3 tribes, and my son is a true deity of the heavenly court. He may have killed a few lowly humans by mistake, so what?" Liu Nian's face immediately darkened. He sneered and replied, "Yes, that's right. We, the lowly humans, are useless. The daughter of the celestial emperor's fire sovereign died for nothing. The 3 emperors and 5 sovereigns of the fire cloud cave should bow 3 times to your dragon clan. And yes, we, the lowly humans, should even expect the Holy Mother Nuwa to bow before your dragon clan, right?" His words touched on many deities, and it didn't take long before the heavenly Tao heard them. Furious, it sent down several bolts of lightning, causing Ao Bong and his group to flinch in surprise. The Dragon King of the Southern Sea, Ao Bong, quickly whispered urgently, "Stop him right away, don't let him speak any further. If we disturb the saint, it will be a disaster. Immediately take him back to the Dragon Palace." But before they could do anything, Fang Qi, the leader of Liu Nian's harem, stepped forward and said, "Don't even think about hurting Liu Nian." Seeing this, Ao Bong's eyes turned bloodshot and he shouted with fury, "Great, one life of Liu Nian isn't enough, then all of you can die together." Liu Nian quickly stepped up and said, "I take responsibility for whatever Liu Nian does. As long as you agree to spare them, you can kill or chop me as you please." At that moment, a woman on horseback appeared from a distance. It was none other than Lady Yin Ten, carrying an aura of fierce determination. Lady Yin Ten, the female general of the Tang dynasty, had arrived. No one was allowed to take Liu Nian. Fang Qi, seeing this, shot a glance and teased, "Mr. Liu Nian, looks like you have quite a few close female friends, huh?" Though Fang Qi's words were full of jealousy, Liu Nian broke into a cold sweat and quickly replied, "I don't know her." Lady Zhu Ten immediately recognized her and said, "She's the mother of Najda, the wife of Lai Tian Wang, the great warrior." Lady Yin Ten. Those words left everyone stunned. What? Ao Wan also saw this and couldn't help feeling secretly pleased. The Yin lady had indeed fallen into the trap. She had left her mansion, where there were protective wards of today. He could have finally taken revenge for both of his children. To explain here, Ao Yi had once spread a false rumor that Liu Nian was the reincarnation of Zhou Wang Yin's show, tricking the Yin lady into leaving her mansion, where the protective barriers were in place. He immediately signaled his subordinates, who swiftly summoned the demon bow. The Lucifer bow, a magical artifact, had been a prize from the Eastern Sea's battle with the demon realm. Ao Gong planned to use it to kill the Yin lady, then blame it on the demons, hoping to provoke Najda into entering a state of rage and turning to the dark side. Without delay, an arrow was shot toward the Yin lady, directly shattering her protective magic shield. Liu Nian noticed the suspicious movement of the figure hiding behind. As he prepared to shoot a second arrow, Liu Nian panicked and thought, "This is bad." He immediately used a magic tool to try to pull the Yin lady toward him, but due to a lack of power, he could only pull her halfway before it stopped. The Yin lady was pulled right into Liu Nian's arms, and she felt embarrassed. "Come on, lady, don't make this awkward for Liu Nian." He froze for a moment, but quickly realized the danger. He thought to himself, "Heaven must be watching over me. Yin lady, don't blush like that. It's going to lead to misunderstandings. If he didn't die today at the hands of the Dragon King, he would definitely be killed by Lai Tian Wang in the future." Yin Ten quickly pulled away from Liu Nian's embrace and raised her sword, pointing it directly at Ao Bong, the Eastern Sea Dragon King. "Your dragon clan has bullied the human race time and time again and even sought Liu Nian's life. They'll have to step over my dead body to get to him." Ao Bong, though outwardly respectful, lowered his head. "Lady Yin, you were just ambushed. The city is full of chaos, and there may be people from the demon realm lurking around. Please return to your mansion. I'll take Liu Nian to the celestial court. If something happens, I'll have a hard time explaining it to Lai Tian Wang." The Eastern Sea Dragon King deliberately referred to Yin Ten as Lady Lai, thinking that the Shang dynasty had already fallen and that the royal family held no more value. In his mind, he had already set his plan in motion. "Lady Lai, I strongly advise you not to return to your mansion. Once you're assassinated, I'll take your body and cry out loud, using it as an excuse to launch a military campaign against the demon realm and avenge you. Just in case, I'll even invite the true dragon of the doctrine of the 12 golden immortals to set up a defense formation. Before his retreat into seclusion, the Dragon Clan's ancestor had passed down his profound knowledge and treasures, helping him cut through a body and reach the early stage of quasi-sainthood. Even if Najra comes, I won't be afraid. Furthermore, Liu Nian killed the gods in the heavenly court and broke heaven's laws. Anyone who tries to stop me will be guilty like him and can be killed on the spot. The laws of heaven and my power are on my side. Everything is in my favor. A quick note for better understanding. To cut 3 bodies is a crucial step to becoming a great Liu Golden Immortal and then a saint. Cutting 1 body reaches the early quasi-saint stage, 2 bodies reach the middle stage, and 3 bodies reach the late stage. Neither Najia nor Lai Ti and Wang has reached the quasi-saint stage yet. Najia can't break through because of his poor talent, and he has lost his original body, which has greatly harmed his luck and power. The next day, Wang issued an order. His army of shrimp soldiers and crab generals obeyed, moving to capture the criminal Liu Nian. Anyone who tried to stop them would be punished with death. Following the command, the water soldiers charged forward like ants towards Liu Nian. At that moment, a cold voice shouted, "You want to capture Liu Nian? And you've asked me first." Hearing this, Gong became angry. Who's there? But when he looked up, all he saw was a woman's figure, her sleeves stirring the wind and clouds, shaking the entire ghostly realm. Her gaze was as cold as ice, enough to freeze the soul. Dressed in deep black, with a presence that was both haunting and regal, she stepped through the snow as if she owned the skies. She was none other than the maiden of the 9 nether realms, a being at the peak of semi-saint power. The news of her appearance at Tai Phi Mountain quickly spread to the Ling Tio treasure palace. When the Jade Emperor heard about it, he suddenly stood up. The maiden of the 9 nether realms came out of the realm of light. Back at Tai Phi Mountain, after the maiden of the 9 nether realms appeared, the 4 seas dragon kings felt trapped like beasts in a cage, paralyzed by fear. The dragon kings of the southwest, north, and west stared in disbelief, unable to believe what they were seeing. They quickly turned to Wang and began scolding him. What is going on here? The female emperor of the 9 nether realms from the realm of light is on the same level as the Jade Emperor. Wang, trembling, replied, "You doomed us all." The maiden of the 9 nether realms called him Liu Nian. Damn it. You knew someone this powerful and didn't say anything earlier? You've been playing us like fools. No, more like playing a pig to eat a dragon. Damn it. If not for the heavenly Tao holding her back, she would have already ascended to sainthood. Even now, she's at the peak of semi-saint, but her treasures and great merits are too terrifying. Ao Yi, Gong, you two have ruined the entire dragon clan. Just a moment ago, Hong Long Qianan, a cultivator at the early stage of saint level, was invited by the 4 seas dragon kings to hold down the formation. He softly muttered 2 lines of poetry to himself. One roar of the dragon shakes the world. All beings of the 10,000 realms must bow their heads. I, the Taoist of the Jade Void Palace, Hong Long Qianan, have come to this small world of Fengshen for a tour. If there is anything wrong, feel free to speak up. He thought to himself, in the past, people used to call me the 3-no Taoist, but now I have a spiritual treasure by my side. Through the Liu Nian incident, I can not only help Wang, but also demonstrate my true strength. I hope Liu Nian will summon a powerful figure so I can have a chance to show my abilities. A quick introduction. Hong Long Qianan is a disciple of the primordial heaven sovereign. Doctrine must be elucidated and expanded, and one of the 12 golden immortals. However, Hong Long Qianan was not well regarded. He had no magical treasures, no disciples, no achievements, and was often mocked as the 3-no Taoist. After the great Fengshen battle, Ying Long stepped down and passed his powers to Hong Long Qianan, hoping that he would protect the descendants. But just at that moment, he saw the 4 seas dragon kings bowing and kowtowing, which shocked him. What's going on here? Looking up, even he was startled. His heart skipped a beat. Oh shit, the Lord of the Realm of Light, maiden of the 9 nether realms, your highness. His face immediately darkened, and he could feel his heartbeat pounding while sweat poured down his face. The sound was so loud that even Gong, who was below, could hear it. He looked up at the celestial dragon above and thought to himself, could this sound be the echo of the legendary celestial dragon? Senior celestial dragon, are you planning to start a battle with the maiden of the 9 nether realms, your highness? Thinking this, Gong felt a surge of excitement. The celestial dragon was a mid-stage quasi-saint and a disciple of the primordial heaven master. Could it be that he had gained enough power to fight against the late-stage quasi-saint maiden of the 9 nether realms? My son's revenge might finally have hope. Ao Gong quickly regained his confidence and looked at the maiden of the 9 nether realms. Your Highness, even if you protect Liu Nian, my senior, the celestial dragon of the Dragon Clan, is a direct disciple of the primordial heaven master, who will surely seek justice for my son. He motioned for Liu Nian to be taken away, but as soon as he spoke, Ao Gong was immediately struck by a kick from the celestial dragon. The blow was so powerful that it left him unable to open his eyes. Take your sister away. Your sister. Ao Gong, dazed from the blow, struggled to get up confused. Senior, what's going on? My Dragon Clan is one of the 3 great ancient clans, the Dragon Clan, the Phoenix Clan, and the Killing Clan. But before he could finish speaking, Long kicked him again, shouting, "This is what you get for acting all ancient. If you want to take a bath, don't drag me along." After that, he bowed his head and said, "Maiden of the 9 nether realms, Your Highness, as a mere descendant, I beg for Your Highness's forgiveness for my ignorance. In my heart, I only wish to tear Ao Gong apart into 1,000 pieces. Ao Gong is so dumb. Not only is the Maiden of the 9 nether realms far stronger than him, her status is even higher than the Jade Emperor's. Even if she were to kill me, my original master would never dare to say a word. But why is Long so afraid of the Maiden of the 9 nether realms? Because she is the ruler of the realm of light. In the eyes of the primordial heaven master, Long is just a newly hatched egg. He took Long into the 12 golden immortals because of his own destiny and merits. Normally, he wasn't accepted by others, which is why he was called the 3 Void True Immortal. Upon hearing this, the Maiden of the 9 nether realms let out a soft sound and asked, "Well, why do I hear Ao Gong say you wanted to take my Liu Nian with you?" Long immediately put on a firm expression and replied, "I think Liu Nian is an extraordinary young man of great righteousness. He must have been forced to kill that evil Ao Yi. There's definitely more to this story." The Southwest and North Sea Dragon Kings also joined in to praise. That's right, that beast Ao Yi has always been impossible to discipline. At 3 years old, he secretly spied on Dragon Mother while she was bathing, and at 4, he pulled Dragon Mother to watch him bathe. We were all deceived by Ao Gong. Your Highness, please forgive us. In the blink of an eye, Ao Gong was abandoned by his own family, and he gritted his teeth in fury. He shouted, "You wicked creatures, you're all afraid of her, but I'm not. Even though the Maiden of the 9 nether realms is the ruler of the realm of light, I, Ao Gong, have always followed the law. I don't believe she would dare to break the heavenly order and kill me." As soon as he finished speaking, a barrage of skulls came flying toward Ao Gong. The Dragon King had to use the dragon's scales shield to protect himself, but it was as fragile as glass, and it shattered in an instant. Seeing the situation was bad, the Dragon King quickly begged for Ao Gong. "Your Highness, please show mercy. Think about it. The dragon scale shield was a gift from the Dragon Emperor to protect me, but after just one strike, it shattered. I become a mere mortal again, and my heart aches. Originally, the shield was meant to delay and block Najda, but who knew it would be shattered by the Maiden of the 9 nether realms?" Upon hearing this, the Maiden of the 9 nether realms frowned. Dragon Scale Shield, a personal protection artifact of the Dragon Emperor. If you want to remind me about the Heavenly Order, then let me remind you of what Ao Yi did during the Fengshen ceremony. The next day, Xiao Yan Mo followed the spiritual image and quickly projected the images contained within the stone. These were the images Your Highness had used when performing the summoning technique to extract memories from the sea of consciousness of Ao Yi's subordinate. Through the image, Ao Yi was seen pinning a woman to the cold ground, his gaze full of brutality. Ao Yi smells so good. There are a few of the pre-heavenly races who are too scared to eat human flesh. What's the big deal if I have a bite? What, Your Highness? You really are a fantastic chef for our Dragon Clan. Thank you for creating such a delicious human delicacy. After showing everyone Ao Yi's vile actions, the Maiden of the 9 nether realms spoke up. "Maiden of the 9 nether realms, you shamelessly call us the chefs of the Dragon Clan, intentionally killing the human race in this world with your twisted games. The Dragon Clan of the 4 seas deserves to be eradicated. Xiao Yan Mo, I will gather the 100,000 troops of the 9 nether realms. Today, I will wipe out the Dragon Clan of the 4 seas and avenge Manhwa, Your Highness. A saint cannot be insulted like this." The Maiden of the 9 nether realms and the 9 heavens mysterious maiden were originally disciples of Manhwa. However, due to a mistake made by the 9 heavens mysterious maiden, they were both punished and exiled from the palace, descending to the mortal realm. There, they met the Queen Mother of the West and became her disciples. Seeing the filthy images of his own son, Ao Gong was struck with fear, sinking to his knees, trembling as he muttered, "It's over. It's all over now." Long also regretted it. He covered his face, feeling a deep frustration. How did he end up in this situation? If he had known, he would have kept training at the Long Cave. The Dragon King of the Four Seas from the southwest quickly bowed and said, "Your Highness, please, for the sake of the Jade Emperor and the ancestral dragon, spare our Four Seas dragon clan. We are willing to compensate Liu Nian in any way you see fit." At that moment, the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms took out a book and said, "Liu Nian owed me a favor in his past life. Today, I will pass down the new scripture to him for his cultivation. The Four Seas Dragon Palaces must each send one woman from the royal family to be Liu Nian's consort for his training, or Liu Nian may choose one himself. Additionally, the EC Dragon Palace must compensate with 100 magic treasures, all of which must be at least post-heavenly spiritual treasures. This order caused great losses for the Four Seas Dragon King, but none dared to protest. Everyone remained silent and obeyed the command, except for Guang, who seemed to be struggling with the situation. The new scripture, which is said to have been created by the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms, is a text on dual cultivation from the era of the Lower Red Emperor. Seeing that Guang was unwilling, the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms gave him a sharp look and said, "You don't want to do this. Then I will hold you accountable for Ao Yi's insult to the Saint Nuwa." Immediately, Guang bowed his head repeatedly. I accept. All four of them could only grit their teeth and agree. They were all afraid of Liu Nian making a choice on their behalf. What if, by chance, he picked one of their wives? With 100 magical artifacts at stake, would they risk bankruptcy to the EC? To take a royal woman from the Dragon Clan and force her to be a concubine for a mere mortal? This Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms is deliberately insulting the Four Seas Dragon Clan. I'm just expressing a bit of anger on behalf of Nuwa, Your Highness. At that moment, there was a commotion in the sky, and the heavenly soldiers of the Jade Emperor had arrived. One of them shouted loudly, "The Jade Emperor has issued an order. Ao Yi has insulted the sage and is to be banished to the mortal realm, where he will live as a fish or a mudfish, doomed to be food for humans for all eternity." EC Dragon King Guang, failing to properly educate his son, was punished with the removal of his scales, 100 lashes, and a sentence of punishment from the Jade Emperor. Guang could only cry, too afraid to protest. The decree continued. Liu Nian, for killing Ao Yi, is rewarded for his merits. He is promoted to an unruly rank of 9th grade official in the Fengshan world and granted a real iron beast mount. The magical item Naja gave him is not to be confiscated, and he may use it freely. The Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms, after handling all matters swiftly, returned to the Realm of Light. No one was allowed to leave without further orders. Everyone lowered their heads in obedience to the decree. Daji's small class. Although the Jade Emperor is officially the ruler of the three realms, there are many immortals who don't listen to his decrees, and some only cooperate out of necessity. This situation is especially common now. As the number of true saints continues to rise, this has caused the Jade Emperor great frustration. Another note about Liu Nian's title, Righteous Renegade, it originally referred to an official position during the Tang Dynasty. In that era, the government often used people with questionable backgrounds to serve in lower-ranking, more obscure roles, so such individuals were called Righteous Renegades. The help from the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms this time caught everyone in the three realms by surprise, including Liu Nian himself. "Can someone explain to me what's going on here?" The Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms asked. "Brother Liu Nian, since I can't leave the Realm of Light often, I'm temporarily leaving Guang's life in your hands. When I arrived here just now, I found evidence that he wanted to kill Naja's mother. I'll knock him on the head again shortly, and I'm sure he'll submit." It wasn't until this moment that Liu Nian realized the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms was the young girl Jiu Su he had saved in the primordial world. Liu Nian was stunned. "You're Jiu Su." The Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms communicated with Liu Nian, saying, "You finally recognized me. Thank you for saving us from the One-Eyed Tribe all those years ago. Afterward, my sister Juk Xuan and I became disciples of the Queen Mother of the West, and I later came to the Realm of Light and became the Nine Nether Maiden Empress." Upon hearing this, Liu Nian humbly responded, feeling a little embarrassed. "I didn't expect that one good deed from back then would be remembered by you, Your Highness, for thousands of years." The nine-tailed fox maiden smiled and said, "Of course, it's only natural. Our ancestors always said that good actions lead to good outcomes. Your brother's kindness is why he has the good fortune he enjoys today." Liu Nian blushed a little and said, "I just got carried away for a moment. I couldn't just stand by and watch two young girls, both so sweet and beautiful, die tragically right in front of me." Hearing this, the nine-tailed fox maiden gave a soft exclamation and then asked teasingly, "So, are my sister and I really that sweet and beautiful? Which one do you like more, Liu Nian?" This question made Liu Nian break out in a cold sweat. He panicked and thought, here it comes, the deadly question. If I don't answer right, my sister must be the Nine Heavens mystical lady, your highness. At this point, the nine-tailed fox maiden returned to the main topic. All right, no more teasing. Liu Nian. There's something serious I need to discuss. While I don't know why the laws of heaven allowed you to tear through the river of time and return to the ancient world, this must never be revealed to anyone, and you can't change history. If you do, we'll be facing a great disaster. Remember this, brother. Next time you travel through time, make sure to disguise yourself well. Liu Nian took her words to heart and replied firmly, understood. The Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms, through Xiao Yan Mo, reported on the situation regarding the sealing of the small world's divine realm. She discovered the presence of Liu Nian and, combining her knowledge from the crimson yellow memories, deduced that he was a person of great fortune, granted permission by the laws of the heavenly Tao to travel through time and space. She also felt concerned for him and warned him about the precautions he should take when crossing realms. After the transmission ended, the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms threw something toward El Guang and called out Al Guang. It was the severed head of the Dragon Clan general who had once attempted to assassinate the Yin Ten Lady. She spoke coldly. Do you recognize this person? Al Guang broke into a sweat, hurriedly shaking his head and waving his hands. No, I don't know him. But unexpectedly, the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms had proof. She took out an image from the dragon's head showing the Dragon Clan general when he was given his mission. In the image, Al Guang had promised, I, the Dragon King, grant you the heavenly treasure of the True Sea Palace and command you to kill the Yin Ten Lady. If you succeed, I will take you as my adopted son. The general proudly accepted the order. Thank you, Dragon King. The Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms glared coldly at Al Guang. Liu Nian owed me a debt of gratitude in his past life. I hope the Dragon King of the Eastern Sea will look after him. Otherwise, I'll reveal this image from the dragon's head. In reality, the maiden was pretending to claim that Liu Nian had once helped her as a cover for the fact that he had crossed over into the crimson yellow world. Al Guang, seeing a lifeline, quickly counted repeatedly. Little Dragon will definitely do everything in his power to help Liu Nian, fellow Taoist, achieve enlightenment and immortality. The Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms was satisfied. It's good that you understand. The Dragon King of the Eastern Sea was overjoyed to assist Liu Nian because of the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms exposed the evidence that the Eastern Sea Dragon King had sent someone to assassinate the wife of Lai Tian Wang's tower. Not only was the Dragon King punished by the heavens, but also his three children, Yin Ten Lady's sons, Kim Zha, Mu Zha, and Na Zha, especially Na Zha. I don't care if I die, but I want you to die. I will definitely cleanse the entire Dragon Clan across the four seas with blood. With that, the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms rose into the air before landing gracefully in front of Liu Nian. She reached out, intending to touch him. Liu Nian, she said as she immediately grasped his hand. I know you're someone who values loyalty, which is why I'm giving you the soul calming flag for your protection. This flag can not only summon the Nine Netherworld's ghost soldiers, but it also has another function that I think you'll really like. The Ghost General is none other than Quang Da. The Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms, appreciating Quang Dui's loyalty, had made him a general in the realm of light. Now she was sending him as a military instructor for Liu Nian to teach him the art of war. She moved closer to Liu Nian, smiling behind a veil that barely concealed her face. I know you'll enjoy this, especially because you can take Ni Xiao Kan in as well. If you encounter any beautiful female spirits, you can bring them in too. As soon as she mentioned Ni Xiao Kan, Liu Nian couldn't help but picture her stunning beauty. Liu Nian scratched his head, feeling helpless. Isn't she implying I'm not a righteous man? He thought. I'm only doing this to train. It's not like I want to. The Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms chuckled and winked at Liu Nian. I understand, she said. The two of them continued to chat happily, completely unaware that everyone around them was trembling in fear, kneeling down and not daring to lift their faces to look at the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms. After saying that, she turned and walked away. I have to go now. I hope you'll achieve the ultimate greatness on your path to becoming a sage. Take care of the sacred text and the soul-tranquilizing mirror. Big brother, remember to keep them safe. As she spoke, she handed two treasures to Liu Nian, silently thinking earlier Jiu Su mentioned that history shouldn't be altered. Could it be that if I change things, I'll destroy the Tao and lose everything? But Liu Nian didn't notice the cold, piercing gazes from the harem behind him. Then Fang Qi gave the order. Everyone grab him. Immediately, everyone rushed to hold Liu Nian tightly, but instead of being angry, they cheered with admiration. Brother Nian is amazing. We're not dead. This is great. Be honest, how many little sisters do you have? Only Liu Ru Yan stood to the side, watching the scene. She lit a cigarette for herself and just observed. A bunch of young girls. I didn't expect Liu Nian's backing to be the maiden of the 9 nether realms. Looks like I've picked the right person to follow. Soon after, the 4-Sea Dragon King suffered a crushing defeat and had to retreat. The scene then shifted to a room in the Western Sea Dragon Palace, where the maiden of the 9 nether realms, now widely known across the small world, stood behind Liu Nian. Upon hearing this, DEITY broke down in tears and rushed to find her mother. Mother, I'm finished. I've offended someone I shouldn't have. His mother was none other than the younger sister of the West Sea Dragon King, Yun. She spoke up. Why is my son in such a panic? DEITY clung tightly to his mother's legs, crying, Mother, I encouraged them to capture Liu Nian, but I didn't know he was backed by the 9 underworld empress. The 4-Sea Dragon Kings have been defeated, Mother. Hearing this, Yun's face turned pale. She asked, Is it the Liu Nian that Yi told you to stir trouble with, the one with the wife? DEITY cried harder and nodded. Yes, that's him. Yun immediately reassured him, Don't panic. I'll fetch a treasure and personally apologize. Upon hearing this, DEITY insisted on going along. The trouble is my fault. I should go with you, Mother. In no time, the mother and son stood before the administration building. Yun instructed her son wait outside the door. I'm worried that if Liu Nian sees you, it will only make him angrier. DEITY obediently agreed, All right, Mother. I'll wait outside. Inside the building, Liu Nian was reading a book. He reflected on the balance between men and women, thinking about how the world was created, how yin and yang never fully merged, causing all things to be at a standstill. How could this standstill be resolved? Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Liu Nian quickly called out, Come in. Yun entered and introduced herself. I am Yun, the younger sister of the West Sea Dragon King. I greet the righteous renegade, sir. Liu Nian's eyes wandered over her alluring figure, and blood rushed to his head. He thought the West Sea Dragon Palace works quickly. Have they already sent a female dragon cultivator here? Soft, a little plump. That works fine for me. I wasn't picky before, and it looks like this is a good opportunity to further research this standstill problem. Liu Nian misunderstood Yun as the female dragon sent by the Western Sea Dragon Palace to practice dual cultivation with him, as requested by the maiden of the 9 nether realms. Seeing Liu Nian staring at her, Yun thought to herself, Why does he keep looking at me like that? She cautiously approached Liu Nian and said, I'm here to apologize. Before she could finish, Liu Nian grabbed her hand. I think you're still very charming. Would you like to practice dual cultivation with me? Yun was caught off guard. The question made her embarrassed, and she quickly pulled her hand back. Young Master Liu, I'm just an old dragon. In the past, the widow referred to herself as a lost soul. Liu Nian immediately stood up from the table and walked toward her. Even though the Western Sea isn't exactly honorable for sending a widow to apologize, your appearance is still worthy of being my partner in dual cultivation and in perfecting feminine skills. As he spoke, he reached out to touch her beautiful face. Yun's face turned bright red, and she stammered, Are you sure you want to practice dual cultivation with me? Liu Nian mischievously replied, What else would I want? If you've come to apologize, don't you have any awareness of what that means? When Yun heard this, she felt a bit shaken inside and thought to herself, Now that Liu Nian has the support of the 9 female emperor, I'm just a widow who isn't welcome at the Dragon Palace, so I can only rely on Liu Nian. This will not only help my son build connections in the realm of light, but it might also help my unfortunate ex-husband a little in his suffering there. To explain briefly, Yun's previous husband was the Dragon King of the Qinghe River. He violated heavenly laws and was sentenced to be beheaded by Wei Zhang. The Dragon King of Qing had pleaded with Lai Shimin to stop Wei Zhang from killing him. Lai Shimin agreed and invited Wei Zhang to play chess, keeping him from going to execute the Dragon King. However, Wei Zhang killed the Dragon King without hesitation. Afterward, the spirit of the King-had Dragon King haunted Lai Shimin, causing him to suffer nightmares day and night. Despite having Tan Qing assigned as the guardian god to prevent disturbances, Lai Shimin, moved by the suffering of the souls on Earth, sent the 3 treasures to fetch the scriptures. This eventually led to his involvement in the Western journey, which began his debt to that fate. After considering all the pros and cons, Yun immediately agreed, saying, If you, young master, are willing to spare my family, I am willing to cultivate with you. Liu Nian then embraced Yun and said, Of course. I just read the Toxin Woman's technique and discovered some issues that need to be addressed with your help. Though it appeared that way on the surface, Liu Nian was mentally encouraging himself. All of this was his desire to grow stronger quickly. He had become stronger in order to save everyone. To save humanity, he was willing to endure the shame of being shameless. At this moment, Yun's face turned bright red, and she shyly said, Since my people were killed by the Heavenly Court, it's been a long time since I've practiced this way. I still hope young master will prepare carefully so the results of my training are effective. The king and River Dragon King had made a bet with a fortune teller, and after that, he didn't follow the Jade Emperor's wishes. He altered the time and amount of rainfall. The laws of heaven are strict, so he was sentenced to be executed by Wei Zhang, the enforcer. However, this led to another story. The king and River Dragon King's restless spirit sought out Lai Shimin for revenge. Liu Nian was excited. She might doubt my character, but she couldn't doubt my professionalism. He immediately cast a full illusion spell on Aoyun, and the intense sensation overwhelmed her. She quietly screamed inside, "Is this the sacred touch of dual cultivation?" Looking at the drops of essence in his hand, Liu Nian greedily tasted it. I'm curious what dragon water tastes like. After tasting it, the new sensation made him exclaim, "It's a bit like a mild soy sauce." This made Aoyun embarrassed, her face turning even redder as she teasingly scolded him. "Young master, don't speak nonsense." Liu Nian pointed to a small table nearby. "Please sit there, madam. I'd like to study this fragrance on your body a little more." Following his words, Aoyun sat down and spread her legs apart. Is this how it's done? Liu Nian gave a thumbs up in praise, thinking that only a Dragon Clan elder could have nurtured such a delicate, smooth fragrance like this. Aoyun, feeling embarrassed, hesitated to listen further, saying, "Young master, please stop looking, it's so embarrassing." But Liu Nian didn't care. He sat down, holding the bottle of aged wine, thinking to himself that this wine had been sealed for so long, and today he would finally open it and taste it. With that, Liu Nian used his mouth to break the seal. Immediately, a rich, intoxicating aroma surged out from inside. Liu Nian couldn't help but feel greedy, drinking it all in one go. Aoyun, on the other hand, couldn't handle the intense sensation and felt something strange. "I need to go to the bathroom." Meanwhile, at the Heavenly Gate in some palace, the Jade Emperor was having a conversation with Tai Bai. He looked very troubled. Tai Bai, the Heavenly Court that Master Hong Jun entrusted to me is becoming harder and harder to manage. Can you believe that the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms would dare to leave the underworld for a mortal? Does the Heavenly Court still have any dignity? Does the Heavenly Way still need order? When the Maiden of the Nine Nether Realms was appointed as the Princess of the Nine Hells and the Lord of the Realm of Light, she had made a vow with the Heavenly Court that she would never leave the Realm of Light without a decree from the Heavenly Court. Tai Bai Metal Star immediately responded. Right now, there are still many who are close to reaching the saint level. Moreover, the ones we can actually use are mostly those in the Divine Board. The rest are mostly immortals relying on the Peach Blossom Table to avoid calamities. If you truly want to rule over the three realms, Your Majesty needs to become a primordial saint as soon as possible. The Peach Blossom Table is just a holy fruit of the sacred land. It can help one achieve the Tao and avoid the heavenly calamity that comes once every 500 years. The Jade Emperor sighed and said, "I wish I could, but creatures like Sun Wukong, despite lacking enough spiritual power, can still ascend to the saint level. The spiritual energy they absorb isn't enough to nourish the Peach Blossom Table." Tai Bai replied, "Indeed, Your Majesty, some of the righteous gods haven't received the Peach Blossom Table in a long time, so they can only rely on connections. However, if we were to send a large number of young immortals down to the mortal world to avoid the calamity, the order of the three realms would likely be disrupted again. After the great calamity and the sealing of the gods, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth has thinned, but there are still some who possess extraordinary talents. They can ascend to the saint level with just a bit of spiritual energy." The Jade Emperor furrowed his brows even tighter as he listened. How could I not know this? Oh, we can only send out more fleets to places with abundant spiritual energy, though we don't have enough heavenly soldiers. We should speed up the cultivation of the human race in the small worlds to supplement our heavenly army. Tai Bai accepted the command and lowered his head. "Your Majesty, there's one more thing I need to report. In the small world, the sealing of the gods also mentioned that Liu Nian is the reincarnation of Emperor Yin Shou. If that's true, how should we handle this situation?" When this topic came up, the hand resting on the armrest tightened into a fist. "Do you have a plan, Your Excellency?" Tai Bai immediately responded. "If that's the case, then we should send him to the Fire Cloud Cavern to stay with the third prince. As long as Liu Nian isn't killed, I believe Your Highness the Goddess will have nothing more to say. If not, he's also the current leader of the righteous renegades. Some of the younger immortals are causing trouble, capturing good cultivators to make pills, which disrupts the flow of heavenly order. Given this boy's personality, he won't easily forgive anyone who mistreats the good. Oppress the human race, use him to defeat these troublesome younger ones, and you can even shift their hatred onto Your Highness the Goddess. This could be like killing two birds with one stone." The Jade Emperor, upon hearing this plan, praised. "No wonder you advised me to appoint Liu Nian as the righteous renegade. Tai Bai's eyes were filled with calculation, all for the sake of maintaining the heavenly order. The scene shifted to Shen Gong Bao, who was now lost in thought, reflecting on memories of his family. He recalled his second younger brother when he was a child, full of enthusiasm and energy. His older brother, ever since he was accepted into the prestigious Hanwang Immortal sect, had earned much praise from everyone in their village for how their mother had raised her sons, making her very happy. Shen Gong Bao patted his younger brother's head and asked, "Is she still okay?" His younger brother replied, "I'm now the key person being trained in our village. Once I learn to shape my form, I'll apply to the Jade Void Palace and become an immortal like you." But right now, on the Fengshen stage, the 12 Golden Immortals Qi Jingzi is accusing Shen Gong Bao. A mere eggshell-level beginner dares to claim to be one of my disciples? If it weren't for the fact that my master saw you as someone with a destiny linked to the Fengshen, someone like you with no virtue or ability wouldn't even be able to enter my school, no matter how hard you tried. Hearing this, Shen Gong Bao immediately pleaded, "Please take into account how many disciples of the radical sect I've helped elevate to the divine board. Senior brother, I beg you, please ask the master to spare me." But Shi Jingzi, still furious, shouted, "You insolent fool! How dare you, a mere eggshell-level beginner with no virtue, call me senior brother? He Tong shut him up." As soon as he finished speaking, the girl named He Tong raised her hand and slapped Shen Gong Bao across the face. He wiped the blood off his nose. "I've risked my life for the doctrine to be elucidated and expanded. I've made great contributions in eliminating the radical sect. You can't treat me like this." Meanwhile, Shi Jingzi shouted at the heavenly soldiers, "Bring the people from the Shen family village here." Immediately, Shen Gong Bao's neighbors were escorted in, including his mother and younger brother. Both of them saw Shen Gong Bao and anxiously called out, "Son, brother." At this moment, He Tong took out the imperial decree from the Zhu Palace. Shen Gong Bao assisted in criminal deeds, causing heaven and earth to curse him. After being beheaded, Jiang Ziye will take his soul and place it on the divine board, appointing him as the Eastern Sea Commander of Water Division. Qi Jingzi didn't forget to give Shen Gong Bao a scornful look. "Every time you call me senior brother in the Zhu Palace, it disgusts me. Before you go up on the board, I have a big gift for you." He immediately ordered He Tong to open the pill furnace. She quickly obeyed, opening the furnace. Shen Gong Bao immediately guessed Qi Jingzi's intentions and rushed forward, shouting, "Spare my younger brother, my mother, and my clan. It was you who forced me to sabotage the Tang family's fortune. Even if I'm at fault, you can't blame my family for it." Shen Gong Bao's relatives realized their fate and clung to each other in fear, but Shi Jingzi showed no mercy. Coldly, he ordered, "Into the furnace." The moment the peak collapsed, it sucked everything, including all of Shen Gong Bao's people, into a black hole. As he watched each of them die at the hands of someone he had once considered a fellow disciple, Shen Gong Bao completely broke down. He fell to his knees, helpless. Chan Jingzi sneered, "Shen Gong Bao, in a moment I'll send your mother and little brother right back to you." Shen Gong Bao's eyes filled with tears and he stammered, "Please don't bring this upon my family." At that, Qi Jingzi waved his hand dismissively. "All right, let's return the wet eggs to where they came from. Open the Northern Sea Eye." Qi Jingzi looked at Shen Gong Bao and mocked him with a sarcastic laugh. "Fellow Taoist, the Northern Sea Eye released his bad water for 7 days each month. To avoid polluting the Northern Sea, may I borrow your physical body for a moment?" Without warning, Shen Gong Bao was sucked into the Northern Sea Eye. Unable to resist the overwhelming power of the eye, he howled in frustration, "No, please." But it was all in vain. The eye crushed his body, and his soul was immediately sent up to the soul board. Shen Gong Bao snapped out of his thoughts, his fist clenched as he shouted, "No, I don't want to block the Northern Sea Eye." Looking at the 2 pills in his hand, his body trembled and tears streamed down his face. The 2 pills were none other than his little brother and mother. The painful memories filled Shen Gong Bao with intense resentment. He thought to himself, "Doctrine must be explained and expanded. Heaven's palace, I will destroy you all." His confidence came from the promise of Lahao, who had assured him that as long as he could open the gateway to the DM world, he could bring his mother and younger brother back to life. Meanwhile, in the office of the Regulus Renegade, Ao Yun looked at Liu Nian with a pleading expression. "Young Master Liu, please help me. If you don't, the building will be flooded." Without hesitation, Liu Nian summoned the 9 dragons to block Ao Yun's floodwaters, thinking that this time he would need to use the Dragon Queen's palace to cultivate. Outside the management building, Dejit paced nervously. His mother had been inside for 3 days and nights. Even though she had sent a message asking him to go back, he still couldn't relax. His mind began to race with all sorts of wild scenarios. Could it be that Liu Nian took my mother and is torturing her with cruel methods? At that moment, inside the building, a burst of power was suddenly released, followed by an excited voice. I did it! The blockage is cleared and the connection to the 9 orifices is open. The system notification appears. The player has comprehended the first layer of the Goddess of Virtue Sutra. All attributes increased by 10%. Empowered by the primal force, Yun's face flushed red and her entire body trembled with joy. Liu Nian quickly rushed over to support her. Madam, what do you think of my technique? Yun was extremely pleased and replied, It's absolutely amazing. You've made me nearly unable to handle it. However, just a moment later, Liu Nian pulled her back. The wild and powerful force inside me hadn't fully settled, and my body radiated with a golden glow. Yun was caught off guard, trembling from the overwhelming energy, but Liu Nian pressed on. Help Yun stand firm, turn her around, and use the maid's great wind technique. After that, Liu Nian held Yun's now exhausted body firmly, transferring his energy to help her reach a higher state of cultivation. After a while, the training session finally ended. Yun, drained and unsteady, slowly made her way out. Daji saw her and rushed over, eyes filled with tears, supporting her gently. Mother, what happened to you? Yun blushed and quickly came up with a light excuse. I'm fine, I just slipped coming down the stairs earlier. Hearing this, Daji moved on to the main concern. I see. So what did Liu Nian say? Yun replied, I told him everything. He agreed to let this go and said he won't trouble the Western Sea anymore. Relieved, Daji helped her mother up. That's good. Let me help you back. Still trembling, Yun leaned on her son as they headed back to the Western Sea. Meanwhile, at the office, things were already in disarray. From the window, Liu Nian watched the mother and son depart, but another issue was on his mind. The Western Sea had sent Daji's mother here. Now the real question was, could he still pursue Daji's fiancée? That fiancée was none other than the Blackwater Princess. But thinking about what had just transpired with Yun, Liu Nian felt conflicted. Pursuing both the mother and the fiancé would cross a serious moral boundary. Even though he had a reputation for being eccentric, he still understood where the line was drawn. Back at the Western Sea Dragon Palace, the Dragon King Run said, Hurry, summon the third princess, Ting Ting. He was deeply worried after hearing rumors about Liu Nian's unpredictable and indulgent nature. If Liu Nian were to come to the Western Sea and pursue their women, it would be disastrous. Run had to act quickly. His concern stemmed from the widespread gossip that Liu Nian's holy body could absorb both yin and yang energies for cultivation, turning the tale of a spiritual sage into something far more controversial. But taking my daughter there also broke Run's heart. My dear daughter, I had planned to help you find a high-ranking immortal to marry, but those scoundrels in the East Sea have deceived us again. Because of the West Sea's crisis, we have no choice but to disappoint you. This is the warmth of a father's love, truly. At that moment, Ting Ting stepped forward and asked, Father, why did you call for me? Run replied, My good daughter, I need to ask you for a favor. As you can see, the most suitable woman from our royal bloodline for marriage is none other than you. This time, with the West Sea in trouble, we have no choice but to marry you to Liu Nian. But Ting Ting protested, someone like me would never agree to that. I'd rather die than marry a mortal, and to be his concubine on top of that. If you force me, I'll kill myself. Run, hearing this, angrily shouted, My little troublemaker, if you don't marry that lustful saint, he'll come to our dragon palace and choose someone. If he picks your mother or your sister-in-law, our dragon palace will lose even more face. Your aunt is still single, but she's a widow with an older son. Liu Nian will definitely take her instead. Ting Ting was furious. Is everyone really so scared of the maiden of the 9 nether realms, your highness? Are you willing to sacrifice your daughter's happiness just for your own position? He sighed helplessly and explained, in the world of cultivation, the strong rule over the weak. In the past, the ancient races used humans to forge magical weapons without any mercy. But now, Liu Nian has the support of your highness, and we still have to repay them for Yi's debt. If you just marry him, everything will go back to normal. But Ting Ting was determined not to accept it. Run, hearing this, shouted, My dear daughter, Liu Nian has the power to slay great demons and cut down immortal beings for the sake of mortals. His future is limitless, and he doesn't even have an official position yet. If you go to him and show your feelings, you become his main wife. Don't let the third prince steal your chance at immortality. Still, Ting Ting stubbornly refused to listen. I've told you, I'm not going. Run had no other choice. He turned around and threatened. This is not a joke. It's been decided. I'll send your older brother, Moang, to take you there. Moang was the eldest prince of the Western Sea Dragon Palace. When Ting Ting heard this, she was heartbroken and tears welled up in her eyes. Father, can you really be so cruel as to not need your daughter anymore? With that, she turned and walked away. Seeing this, Run sighed. He gave an order, you two follow the third princess. Don't let her do anything foolish. After leaving the Western Sea Dragon Palace, Ting walked away feeling down and deep in thought. Liu Nian was nothing but a lowly, filthy human, while she was a member of the Dragon Clan, one of the 3 ancient races and the daughter of the royal family. Her husband should definitely be a powerful immortal like Yang Jian. Just thinking about Yang Jian made Ting's face flush red. Suddenly, she heard a voice calling out from behind. Fellow Taoist, please stop. I am Shen Gong Bao, the Eastern Sea's Water Division General. After Shen Gong Bao was crushed to death by the North Sea's Eye, he was appointed as the Water Division General of the Eastern Sea on the Divine Board. As soon as Ting heard the name, she knew who it was and couldn't help but mock him. I know, your physical body is still at the North Sea's Eye. Her words left Shen Gong Bao speechless. He concealed his anger and spoke again. Third Princess of the Western Sea, you joke too much. That was all in the past. I've come today to introduce someone who can help you with your worries. Ting's interest piqued, and she quickly asked, who is it? Shen Gong Bao smiled, revealing that the person he was talking about was none other than her third brother. The white dragon horse, once the mount of Tang Sang, was now the 8th brother, Heavenly Dragon, the noble lawn of the Jade Dragon Hall. However, Shen Gong Bao did not have good intentions. His mind was full of schemes. He had a habit of hitting people where it hurts and speaking only part of the truth. Ting, he said, at first, I only wanted to lure your brother into a small world to offer him as a mount for the great elder of the demon realm. But now, it seems you will die too.